All right, we're here. Let me share the live out as well. What's up, grandson? What's up, Cedar? Uh, hi, Momo. 1 second. Copy link. StreamYard. Uh, hello, Akira. Why you calling me that? How about you come? How about you come talk to me? Why the animosity? Why such animosity, dude? Why such animosity? Copy. I'm just a guy on TikTok and StreamYard. What's up? What's up, Dallas? All right, let's get the likes up. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. I get called a raccoon as someone steps in the goddamn live. That's hilarious. What's up, Amaru? Did she say call me that and leave after I sent her a request? That's hilarious. But I'm taking guests now. I'm taking guests now. If anybody wants to come up, feel free. What? You to what? Don't tell me to lie. Learn more. All right. Request. Who is this? Poochie's Powwow. What's up?
What's going on, David? What's popping, man?
Nah, what's not much. Thank you for the rose. It's all
Yeah.
right. We'll see who else is up here. See who else is all right, cool, cool. What's up, C3? You take every culture and take it as your own. How we do that? How we do that? How we take everybody's culture and take it as our own? Nin. Would you like to answer that, Nin? You got that nincompoop? Thank you for the rose. Oh, brother. What's up?
Black people are from Africa.
You said what?
Black people are from Africa, bro. Y'all be tripping with this shit.
Where you from? Where you from, Africa?
From America, but black people are from Africa.
How you from America and from Africa at the same time?
Black people are from Africa. Black
Wait,
people are from Africa. You
where are
should
you from
listen.
as where are you from as a black person?
You should listen.
I just listened to you. You said black people are from Africa, and you as a black person
And you
said you
said,
just
but
said
then
you
you
were from
said, but
America,
I said black people are from Africa. You ever
and
heard
you're
of
a black
traveling?
person.
Have you ever
You're
heard of traveling?
yeah.
Have you ever heard of traveling? Caucasian.
You said you were from America though. So
Black
which one
people
is
are
it?
from Africa. You should use your ears.
And where are you from?
America.
How are you from Africa and America at the same time?
Black people are from Africa for the eighth time. Black people are from Africa.
White people from Africa too.
White people are from Africa too. Then how about that?
What part of Africa are white people from?
North
North
Africa.
Africa,
What part?
Yeah,
What country? What
North
country? What
Africa,
part?
Morocco.
Morocco,
You got
Sudan.
They're not white.
Sudan,
None of those. They're not Caucasian. They're not Caucasian.
Ethiopia.
Yes,
They're
they
not
Yeah, yeah,
are.
Caucasian. They're
Egypt.
not
exactly.
Caucasian. They're not
Hold on,
Caucasian. They're
exactly.
not Caucasian.
Ethiopians are
They're
classified
not
as
Caucasian.
Caucasian.
They're
Yes,
Yes,
not
they are.
Caucasian.
Caucasian.
No, they're
Yes,
not. They're
they
not
are.
Caucasian.
Yes,
No, they're
they
not.
are.
No, they're
They,
Yes,
not.
they
No,
are.
they're not.
I
No, they're
literally,
not.
literally,
No,
I
they're
I
had
not.
work
to.
with a lot of East Africans and Ethiopians, and I can tell you right now, they're not classifying themselves as Caucasian. I do agree with already.
Facts.
We are definitely culturally from Africa, but of course, the transatlantic slave trade, we're here. I'm from Mississippi,
Where you
so
from?
you know
What
what I
part of
mean.
Mississippi you from?
I grew up in the northern part, man.
The northern part. You from northern
Mississippi,
Mississippi.
Louisiana.
Where? Where your
Yeah.
grandparents from?
Louisiana and Mississippi.
Oh, where? Louisiana and
Where they
Mississippi.
grandparents from?
So what?
I said, where are your grandparents' grandparents?
Oh, yo, for sure.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Like, no. What you're gonna find out is definitely generations of African Americans here. That's fine. But again, culturally, we are
That's
still
not
from
what I
Africa.
asked
And
though, because like I
I
can.
gave you the answer. You're absolutely correct. It would be Louisiana, Mississippi, and then pretty
Okay.
much we can trace it to South
Yeah.
Carolina also.
South
But
Carolina.
All right.
Brother Darvin, thanks for the live. I love what you do, brother. But I just want to say that you were right when you said that the Moroccans, Algerians, and all of these groups, they're classified as Caucasian when they come here. They definitely
They
are.
are
And I just came up to say that, brother.
Appreciate that.
if
Appreciate that.
if they are Arabic, that might be the case. But
No,
the
that's not.
Amazigh,
That's not entirely.
no.
True. No,
The
that's
native,
not true.
the native North
You're
Africans
talking to
would be
somebody
people
who's
like
half Sudanese. I'm
Let him
telling
talk.
you this shit
Why you
right
cutting him
now.
off? Let him talk.
I'm not
Well,
cutting them off. I'm just stating the fact. Yes, they are classifying as white.
Well, say it after he gets done talking. Let him talk.
again, if they are Arabic, that would be a thing because the Amazigh,
What's
the
up,
native,
vegan?
the
Arabic's
Berbers.
not a race. It's an ethnic group.
You get
Let him
what I'm
speak, bro.
saying,
Stop
though.
cutting him off.
But it's fine because either way it goes, when I go
Already,
around
I
to
hope you stay quiet when someone else is talking. Clips. I don't want to hear shit from.
Just don't cut me off or mute me.
I won't. Yeah, I won't. I won't hear. I don't want to hear shit from you when someone else is talking. How about that? All right, cool. Go ahead.
Cut me off or mute me.
but as we know that those are an ethnic group that is native to North Africa, those are the originals. But we know that there was an Arabic expansion at some point during the rest. And again, plenty of people who are Arabic are considered Caucasian, especially when they come to this country and other places also. We've seen this throughout the recent years. We've seen this throughout the last 50 to 70 years.
I have a question. Are you familiar with Inuit groups expanding in throughout America, throughout the plains?
You talking about Inuit groups? What you mean Inuit groups? You mean like the Plains Indians? Yeah, it's like the Sioux, the Cree, the things of that nature. You know, the
Yeah.
Crow and things like that. Comanche, Apache, like
Yeah.
those.
Are you familiar? Yeah. Are you familiar like with Inuits traveling down and like already like
Like the Inuit, like in Canada. You know, like or Alaska, if you want to be more specific.
No, so like
Uh,
so in the Great Plains and stuff, right? So like, cause even then, like I did it, man, Darvin. I sold out and did it. But when
What's up, Venus?
yeah, so most of my common ancestors that I have found were tribes up in Canada when I did mine. So like I'm a little confused now because I already knew what my tribe was. This type of reservation and shit. It's up in there with Seattle, Washington. So like I was just asking you and stuff because I talked to them and they said like it was already people they mixed in with. So I was just like, I was just asking, are you familiar with those groups coming out through like Northeast Asia, like coming down from Canada? That's all I asked.
okay. If you're going
Yeah.
like with like the barren land bridge, you know what I'm saying? Them traveling aspect, that's the aspect you're trying to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like people traveling from, like I said, Native Americans are definitely do have Asian ancestry. You know what I mean? Like if you're, is that what you're saying?
No, I was just saying like it's a very similar thing over in America, just how it is over there in Africa. Cause like even then, my tribe over there, Ben Amir, over there in Sudan, like we are still like, don't get us wrong, like we're still black people, but we did migrate out the Middle East before we even came over there and settled down. But there's also different ethnic groups of black people there. Like there's Nilotics. I know Ethiopia, the Habesha, like there's a lot of different ethnic groups there.
Oh,
But one
of
of
course.
but one of the huge misconceptions they always try to say is that we're mixed with Arabs, and that's not the truth. We're our own,
So
we're our own ethnic group and everything.
what I think it is, you know what I'm saying, where the confusion comes from is that, okay, like North and South Sudan, they definitely separated recently. And I think a lot of the confusion comes from the Arabic culture kind of taking over, you know what I'm saying? Like you speak Arabic, you can go to Sudan and survive. Like, you can learn Arabic. And I think that's where a lot of confusion comes from because again, on TV, we don't get to see some of the other tribes and things of that nature. Like it's not something you normally see unless you meet somebody from that area. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing in Egypt. They don't show Egyptian people that are my color or look like Darvin. Like it's the same thing. The media plays a huge part. A lot of people don't know that there's indigenous populations in Mexico and they're dark skinned, but they don't never show them on TV because you got to understand, like, white supremacy is a global thing. But like, one of the reasons like people like me and Darby get on these platforms to get y'all to understand indigenous people don't look a certain type of way, because even that itself is whitewashed as well, because these people up there in Egypt and Sudan will tell you, oh, I'm indigenous, but they recently got here from the Arab Peninsula. That's all I was just just
No. Facts, brother. You, like I said, that's truth. You know what I'm saying? We can all debate and have discussion, and when I boil down to it, there is a white supremacy.
What's up,
Blonde
Costa?
hair and blue eyes has always been a thing to be looked at. And as you're talking about the Native American populations or the indigenous people populations in Mexico, in South America, look, I'm black and plenty of people darker than me. You get what I'm saying? Plenty of people will be darker than me and darker than my daddy or even my daddy's skin tone.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
What's
So
up, Pray?
somebody said in the comments that they met a black Egyptian. You got to also understand Egypt is a new thing that was just recently created, and most of the people that you see who are Egypt are descendants of the Macedonians that came here. And even then, in Egypt, there was caste systems, just like in Spain and America, and that's why it's so very important that us Black Americans like preserve our bloodlines and stuff, because it's gonna be the same thing in the next 50 years. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always support Black love. Because at the end of the day, even if that person's not fully white, they're going to hold white supremacy ideals.
no facts. If that's what's been pushed at the forefront, if that's what's been pushed in society as, we can even talk about hairstyles and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
You look into a lot of treaties that were signed over by white people and a lot of these tribes. A lot of these people who were signing off these treaties that were selling out other Indian people, and these chiefs were biracial people and mixed people.
Because
What's up,
one
All-American?
side got treated better. One side got treated better than the other.
Yeah.
If my daddy is blonde hair, blue eyes, and I see how he treats the other brown skinned people, then I'm gonna go with my daddy's people. You gonna like that's just the way of the world, man. It's sad.
Wait,
but
what's the question, guys?
What question?
Oh, it says, are Black Americans stealing Native culture? Yeah, they are.
How so?
You're not federally recognized, then you're not an Indian.
If you're not federally recognized, what about the state recognized tribes?
Just because, I mean,
Hold on,
I don't know.
one second. What about the state of recognized tribes? What about them?
Those are fake. Those are all fake.
How are
Those
they
are
all fake? How
all
are they all
fake.
fake if a
Those are
government
all fake.
hold on, how are they fake if they're recognized by a government and indigenous people? Do you know Indian law, sir?
Well, I think they're fake.
You think they're fake? Do you know Indian law? What's your tribe? Huh? What's
I
your
can't tell you
tribe?
that.
What's
It's
your
private.
tribe? All
I
right, let me
can't
look
tell
at
you
your
that.
bio. A Cherokee man. So you're Cherokee. Where's your folks before the Trail of Tears? Huh?
I can't tell you that. I haven't done enough
Where's your folks?
research. I
Oh,
haven't
you
done
haven't
enough
done enough.
research,
You
to
haven't
be
done
honest.
enough research, huh? Where's your? Oh, no. Yeah, where's your folks before? You don't know where your folks was before Oklahoma?
So
I can't comment.
Son of
I
Mary.
plead the fifth.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
No.
Yeah, please. Yeah. You can't say shit. So why are you speaking on shit you don't know about?
But I'm saying that you guys are not federally recognized.
You're
Why are
not.
you
You're
why are you
not. You don't
stealing
even know your history.
Native
Hold on
culture?
1 second. What? You don't even know your history of your tribe. Where was you at before the Trail of Tears? Huh? Were you in South Carolina? Were you in Tennessee? Huh? Were you up north? Were you in Delaware? Huh? Were you in Georgia? Huh? So what are we talking about? How many tribes is here?
Straight up,
Oh
you guys are straight up Wabo.
man, yeah,
Okay.
and you're the only wobble up here because you can't tell us about your tribe. Wannabe.
I don't want to. What if I don't want to talk about it?
Hey, so what tribe are
Then why the
you?
fuck you up here? Powhatan and Piscataway.
What tribe are you?
Powhatan and Piscataway. Did you hear me?
Okay. Yeah,
What's
I
your
heard
tribe?
you.
What's your tribe, Eddie?
Mayan, bro. You could take Mayan, you know?
Maya Yucatec. Is that both sides of your family?
Is that both sides of my family?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of. So
Dang.
both.
Let's say my mom's probably like 80% indigenous. My dad's probably like 40% or 30% indigenous.
Your dad's probably 30%. Where your dad's dad from?
Oh shit, my dad's dad,
Yeah, where your dad's
Mexico,
dad's? Mexico. Where's your dad's mom from?
Mexico,
Mexico. Where they parents from?
Mexico,
Where they parents from?
Mexico,
Where they parents from?
You might be Mexican, bro.
Mexico.
Where they parents from? How
Oh,
far your tree go back? Eddie.
Fuck.
Yeah,
That shit
uh-huh.
goes, that shit goes
Uh-huh.
back to like. Let me see. Hold on. Let me show you something.
Andy says she's Garifuna, Carib Airwalk. Shout out to you, Miss Annie. Annie, are you okay?
Yeah, hold up. Where's this shit at? It's right here, bro. It goes pretty far back.
Yo, tree. All right, let's see.
Well, I don't know why it's not popping up. Something's wrong with my fucking.
What's up, V-Note? What's up, V-Note?
I don't know why my camera's not working anymore, but
Oh, man. Let's see.
there it
Ancient
is. Boom. It goes pretty far back.
yeah, man. That's good, man. That paleo, that's good.
This is on my. How do you say? Maternal side. So my mom's side.
Maternal side.
So my
Today
paternal
is
man.
side.
Represent, man. That's representing right there, man.
Okay,
My
for
paternal
sure.
side would be. This is my haplogroup. From my maternal side.
Are you
Goes
here,
back 20,000
grandson?
years. Yeah, it goes back 20,000 years, all the way to the ancestors that came from East Africa, they said, or the Levant. So I think it's Jewish or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got, yeah, grandson, you see this? You there? No? All right, for sure. Okay, cool. Now, which one of your parents? Okay, cool. Now, how far back does your family tree go?
It goes pretty far back, bro. Just like, my great grandparents were, one of them was an orphan, so it kind of stops there.
He was what?
An orphan? You know the
An
orphan?
orphan? Oh, yeah, I know what an orphan is. Yeah.
He
So,
emerged up
what
in-
year was he born?
Fuck, 1800s? I don't know.
Yo, no.
Because he was like 100 years old in 98.
In 98,
So-
that means he was born in 1898.
Yeah. So, pretty much.
I don't have music going right now. That's Eddie's music.
Yeah, bro, but yeah, I do. I mean, I do feel. What the hell am I saying? Yeah, it's a fact that Black Americans are trying to steal Native American culture.
By what? How?
I mean, all right.
What have we steal from? Like, name 10 prominent things of Native culture.
Name 10.
Yeah,
Like
name
that
10. Name 10 prominent Native culture things.
that you guys appropriated, or that you guys claim
No, in general.
that we invented.
Yeah, name 10. Yeah, name 10 Native inventions right
so
now.
everything that the Egyptians and Eastern cultures have developed, we developed all on our own. So we're talking about mathematics, a mathematical concept of zero, advanced astronomy, calendar system. We're talking about advanced architecture, aqueducts. We're talking about advanced agriculture. We took corn and which was first, it was a grass, and we developed into corn. Not only that, I mean, medicines. We have things like fucking ayahuasca and shit. I mean, I know that's more South American Indian.
Wait, who is? Okay, cool. Name five native restaurants right now.
Well, I mean, like,
No. Name five native restaurants right now.
Every Mexican restaurant is a Native American restaurant.
No, it's not. No, name
Yes,
five
it is.
native.
Yes, it
name
is.
five. No, it's not.
On
Name
average,
five.
American.
Stealing, bro. Now you stealing, bro. You can't claim
Name
Mexican
five-
shit, bro.
I am
Name five.
Mexican.
Name five native restaurants right now.
Fuck, bro. I mean, every Mexican restaurant is a Native American restaurant.
No,
every
it's
Guatemalan
not.
restaurant.
No, it's not.
Every Guatemalan
No, it's not.
restaurant is a Native American. Yes, they are.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
They
is.
are
It
a
is.
culture. They are a culture of.
All right.
They're a mixed
So
culture.
what are
They're,
Aztecs known
they're
for?
mixed
Chocolate,
culture.
right?
So I
It's a
wanted,
mix.
to, I wanted to respond
That's a part of
to Eddie real
Mesoamerican
quick.
culture, right? Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Native American.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we cook. We cook with chocolate. Like we
No,
make dishes
but,
with chocolate
but Eddie,
sauce.
just because another culture also doesn't mean they got it specifically from your culture. You do understand
talking
that,
about?
right?
What are you talking about?
Like things like chocolate, and you were talking about the aqueducts and
use-
time
we
and
developed
building.
all
Like
that on our own.
it
We had no
happened,
influence.
but it
No
also
Egyptian
happened
influence,
in other
no
places
Middle Eastern
without
influence,
input.
no Chinese influence. There was
It
no
happened,
European influence.
but it happened other places without influence,
he
just
still
like
ain't named
it
for- he
happened
ain't
for
still-
yours. You can't say they took that from
No.
you if it happened at the same
Oh,
time in
no,
other
he-
places.
You guys all worked in harmony,
Name,
developed all the things that we developed
he's
on our own.
not. Y'all let him slide away. Name 5 native restaurants that say native in it.
Oh, they don't have that word, but they have El Oaxaca, El Oaxaca or El Mexicano or the Nayarit. Those are all indigenous words.
Okay, name 5 restaurants with those combination of words.
Okay, there's a restaurant that's called El Oaxaco or La Oaxaca right here. That's a Native American word.
What language is that? What language is that? What language is that? What language is that?
Like Nahuatl, or it could be Mixteco. There's different languages in Mexico, but they're all Native American tongues.
They're all Native American tongues. They call themselves
Oaxaca
Native
is a
Americans.
Native American word. Tlajamulco is a Native American word.
All right, name 5 restaurants. Now name 5 restaurants.
Well, you probably don't. I mean, if you're talking about like McDonald's, you want franchises?
No, name 5 restaurants.
Okay, El Oaxaca, fucking mariscos estilo Nayarit, estilo de Culiacán, fucking mariscos de Sinaloa. I mean, those are all Native American words. Those states are all native out of Native American tribes.
I asked you name 5 restaurants.
I just did, just because you don't know them.
In the United States. Now do that in the United States.
Those are in the United States.
Where are they at? Where are they at?
In the San Joaquin Valley. In San Joaquin Valley.
San Joaquin Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, now name 5 native foods eaten all around the world.
Tortillas, corn, squash, chocolate. Fuck, how long of a response do you want?
How long of a response do I want? All around
Potatoes,
the world. Name
potatoes.
Name 10 Native American dances that everyone does around the world.
Fuck, all right. Los Voladores de Veracruz. Oh, they don't do it around the world. They do it at the ceremonies.
They do it at the ceremony. Nobody around the world does native dances.
No, you guys don't do them.
No,
we don't do them. I asked about the world. Everybody dances to our shit.
No,
yeah, and we invented merengue.
Yes, they do.
We invented merengue. We invented merengue and bachata, all that shit. That's us. We did that.
Oh, who did
everything? Influence.
Talking about Africans now, but you guys aren't Africans.
It's a big difference having influence in something and coming up with it. Again, those cultures are mixed with Native American, European, and African.
Yeah,
He's been around.
Hold on. What African culture is in Black American culture? What African culture?
I'm glad you said that. Like I said, my people from Mississippi, my people from Mississippi and Louisiana. So we still use words. If you look at some Louisiana, last names, Guinea, Pular, Mina, those are African tribes. So they kept the African tribe. There's a family in Louisiana right now with the last name Senegal, because the person the first person that knew that she was a slave from Africa couldn't tell you the village she was from because she was a kid, but she knew what the name of the territory was. So she created her family name, Du Senegal. So there are places, Buki. Buki is a word right now that I've been using my entire life. And if you speak Louisiana Creole or something, you hear Tigine or Buki and things like that. Buki is a Wolof word for hyena. So we keep our Black culture. We keep our African culture.
Yeah.
Okay, is that Louisiana? What about the state of Maryland or Virginia?
Oh, yeah, I was so confused by what you just said.
I'm glad you said that. The DMV is still one of the blackest areas around here.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's African.
Oh no, completely. Oh, completely.
No, it doesn't.
Completely.
All right, cool. Cool. You're talking about my area now,
right?
Where I'm from.
I think there's a difference between saying that it's African and saying that people have brought things over that are from their histories in Africa. And she was referencing Creole in Louisiana, which is also kind of similar to the dialects that are spoken in the Caribbean.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say that because I'm like, y'all was owned by the
It's a mixed language. It's a mixed language.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like, isn't it Cameroon? What's the area? There's so many European places over there, colonized places in Africa. But yeah, I think shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll tell you right now, most people from the DMV area have family from Maryland, Virginia, and the Carolinas.
Yeah, my folks from Virginia and Carolina too. I ain't found an African yet on my marker. I ain't gonna lie.
So go.
No,
That's South Carolina.
ain't no Gullah. Oh, that's South Carolina. If they came from the Gullah Geechee Island, host is tweaking, watch his body movements. I'm not tweaking. You can see my body movements clearly. Like, get the fuck
Man,
on.
stop paying attention to his body movements, weird nigga.
Yeah, I was about to say. With that being said, I'm engaging with the conversation, right? So, with that being said, as someone that is from Maryland and is still here and has family that's been in Maryland forever, right? You guys cannot tell me the African influences that's here.
No offense or anything, and I'm not trying to be rude. People tend to know about where they're particularly from.
Exactly. And people need to start speaking for that.
Yeah, when
speaking
you're
for
from
collective.
someplace, like when you're from someplace, I feel like it's more about you educating people about where you're from instead of being upset that they don't know.
I'm not.
It's
It's not even about being upset. People need to stop making blanket stories. Talk about your family.
Yeah.
And your family alone. You can't speak for my family. And I'm
'Cause we
letting
don't
you know
speak
that
for
you
you.
can't. Yeah, like I'm letting you know that you can't speak for my family because you're not from here.
Wait.
I might have missed when somebody was trying to speak for your family then.
No, he said the everybody's community, and he's only speaking about Louisiana. He's speaking for the whole of a community, and he's talking about his own family in Louisiana. You cannot speak for people in Maryland if you're from Louisiana.
And a lot of Louisiana people.
What's up?
Go ahead, G.
I was about to say, and a lot of people cannot tell me about Maryland when I have family that have built towns in Maryland that are black. They were free people of color.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Louisiana people are a lot of y'all are traders anyway. Like y'all got a different culture than we do.
A bad thing though? Like, is it a bad thing that they have a different culture than you do?
It's not a well.
I mean,
he can speak for himself. Grandson can speak for himself.
Darvin, I'm gonna let you know this shit right now. My family own land in Mississippi and shit, and in Louisiana, and them niggas ain't never told me nothing about West Africa. My great grandmother born on the Chittimacha reservation. That shit's still there. I can get my citizenship too to that tribe. So with everybody with this Wabo nonsense, and I get like there were some Africans that came over here, but a lot of these African heritage that y'all do have was already Africans that were in Europe and moved over. They don't tell you that shit about French history because there's my mother been to France and there's African families that been there like 600 years plus, 600, 500 years plus. So when
you said France, right?
Yeah, there were black people in France prior, like even during their times of slavery, there were black people in France.
Right. There was some in Russia too. They were in Russia too, getting rich, very rich.
Yeah, people.
It's even parts of European history where Northern Africa ventured into those areas and did settle and had settlements there. Like it's just part of history. But I think I always get like perturbed when someone talks about their culture and it's like, well, that's not my culture. Well, obviously, because you're not the one talking about it. Like, I don't think it's right to get upset if a person is coming directly about themselves.
Then they should start speaking for themselves and not the collect. I don't know why that's not hard. Why that's so hard to grasp.
Right. It's different talking about somebody else's culture. Like you shouldn't do that. You could only talk about self and what you know.
Yeah.
I find it always just a horrible conversation when, we get angry when people come for us. And yes, that's understandable, but it's just like, do better. Just stop talking about something you don't know about.
Yeah, Andy, I agree because even earlier, like I was telling them, because like I got family that's fully East African and shit, and like they check off as white. I have a Sudanese homeboy in a whole nother squadron from me, and his family are literally rich because they check off as white because they get approved easier. And them niggas blacker than me.
Okay.
Hey, bro, can I show this?
What I had wanted to go.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
I just wanted to show this real quick. So no matter what you show on your DNA test, right? Modern Mexican DNA and Virginia Indians, as you can see here, they are not related, my boy. Ain't no Virginia Indian DNA on that shit. Right? I mean, in the database right now, like 80% of y'all is Clovis people, right? Look, you see this? While it's difficult to give an exact percentage, it's estimated that approximately 80% of all present-day Native Americans in the North and South, including Mexicans, are direct descendants of Clovis people. And let me show you. It's something about Virginia, right? Let me show you real quick.
What's up,
I'm going to go to the actual Virginia website, right?
That guy.
So
Murphy.
let me see. Yeah. The Paleo-Indo period, right? 16,000, 8,000 BC came toward the end of the Ice Age, right? A time when the climate warmed and the largest mammals became extinct, likely having originally migrated from Asia. The first people in Virginia were hunter-gatherers who left behind lithic or stone tools, often spearheads at the Cactus Hill archaeological site, right? In Sussex County, these date back to 16,000 BC, which is 18,000 years, or well before the better-known Clovis culture. This is
That's been
before the
debunked.
Clovis culture.
There was people in
And
Zacatecas
80%,
25,000 years
and
ago.
80% of y'all,
Let
and
him finish.
80%
Let
of
him
y'all,
finish.
and 80% of y'all are this culture. Y'all don't have nothing to do with this Virginia culture. So I know every single one of y'all Native Americans that come up here, and y'all, none of y'all would ever connect to Virginia, ever.
Bro, there
That's
was Native
all.
American.
Look, that's absolutely correct. Let him finish. Go on. You're talking about the migration that
Hold
came
on,
over the top
hold on,
north.
hold on. And y'all said earlier that North Africans aren't Caucasians, but modern North Africans have a significant amount of Caucasian hunter-gatherer blood. This is due to the combination of factors, including ancient migrations from Eurasia and the spread of agriculture, while the specific levels and origins of this ancestry can vary, right? Because the Spanish invaded these people, bro. They took over Morocco and North Africa, and the Caucasians took it over. You can see it in their haplogroups. Yeah, that's all.
I go lie. All right, for sure.
He would be very correct about those things. But again, it's kind of like, okay, going back on, I'm in the DMV right now, PG County specifically. So why does y'all African American History Museum in DC? Because that, again, I know the area.
In
I've been up here for
DC.
a couple of years.
We
We both know that. Let's not do that.
the African
Maryland and DC
American
should.
in DC. In DC. What about the African American Museum?
If this is in the DMV, why does not the African American Museum over here have anything? Whatever y'all saying, it doesn't.
What is it? What I was just there not too long ago. It's nothing but African.
Okay.
It's nothing but
I'm
African
glad.
stuff in there.
They have literally there's a place in there that shows you origin of words, like the origin of the word like goober and peanut and gumbo. You know, come on.
Peanut
now,
is
man.
not.
It's
Peanut is not African.
goober, specifically goober.
Yeah.
Literally.
And where are peanuts from?
I don't know. Tell me what peanuts-
America. Not all nuts are from America.
Okay. Now, where's cassava from? Where's cassava from? I know where cassava is from.
America.
Okay, no.
America. Yeah, America.
Cassava can be found in several different places.
And it's from America. Its parent plant is from America.
No, it's from South. It says it's from South America.
Yeah,
So
South
cassava
America.
Wait, no. Cassava from South America. That is,
And-
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the reason why that's significant is to show you that again, cassava from South America, and due to Spanish and Portuguese bringing slaves over, it made it to West Africa, and now it's a major food group. It's now a major thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's busting out that still adds to the transatlantic slave trade. That still adds to the whole concept of Black Americans. I don't think we're still in culture. I don't think we're still in culture, but we definitely have adopted some of Native American culture because, hey, we may have already come over here with not, but adoption is one thing, but now it's coming to
The Indian culture, the Indian culture that's in our blood is Carib, Virginia Indians. It has nothing to do with Mexicans, bro.
Carib, Virginia, there is
Let's
some.
clarify
There is
that.
literally
Okay, so
some.
hold on really quick. No, hold on, because he talked about the northern migration that came down from the north, and that's correct. That came down. However, we were already here, and that's the pyramid builders. So when
You
the
didn't
northern
say that,
migration
bro.
comes
You didn't
down,
say that.
no, it's a fight. It's okay. I know. I'm clear because when the Spanish arrived, my father's tribe was fighting against the Mexica. My father's tribe, the Purepecha, were fighting against the assimilation of the Mexica when the Spanish arrived. So really quick, we all have a perspective on how this unfolded in the United States. And from my experience, before the colonization even started, we were fighting with the northern invaders, which are the Mexica, that came down looking for a sign and settled in Mexico City. Their original land isn't Mexico City. They came down, they found the symbol, the eagle perched on the cactus, and that's where they decided to set their foundations for their, let's call it an empire, because that's what it was, the Mexica Empire. However,
Just
my
answer
father's tribe
this.
was
Answer
there.
this real quick. Answer this real quick.
Go ahead, bud.
What
Go ahead,
pyramid? What pyramid in Mexico is older than 18,000 years old?
The ones underneath the ones you see. So the ones you see that have been dated are built on older pyramids. So if you go even further south, the oldest one is the
Name
ones
it.
built by the Olmeca. I don't know the exact name, but the Olmeca are the first ones who start building pyramids or step pyramids in America.
Mm.
All right, so it should be a pyramid older than the Paleo Indian part.
And let's. Oh yeah, absolutely. When you go, and then, well, here's where you run into
Well,
problems
show it
when you
then.
go into the archaic. Well, show me a body that looks like you when you're talking about those times. Show me a body that looks like you in the archaic time.
But in
and then,
Virginia,
that's the
I could
same
show
thing.
you. I could show you people explaining how the Virginia Indians look and saying that they got very dark skin.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a well proportioned. John
Even
Smith,
when it boiled down to the Aztecs, they
William
literally
Burt.
said
Hold
if
on,
you
let the
look
host
at their
talk, bro. The host was talking, son. Let him finish, bro. Go ahead.
I was about to say, William Byrd, John Smith, the chief of the Sharonaka, Chief Red Hawk Brown, so many people. It's so many. William Penn when he went to Delaware, John
Right.
Smith when he also went to Maryland. Like he talked about how they looked. They've all talked about how we look. And my thing is, how are we culture vulturing people when y'all can't even name people that's east of the Mississippi? How many tribes can you name that's east of the Mississippi?
Yeah,
Anybody?
those are the ones that migrated. Those are the ones that migrated down. They're
Migrated
not the
where?
original people from the north. like you
Migrated
said.
where?
They migrated from the Bering
I'm
Strait, like
asking
you said.
I'm asking something else. How many tribes can y'all name that are opposition? How many can y'all name east of the
If you can't
Mississippi?
trace your lineage to the pyramids in
Choctaw,
Mexico, you're
Cherokee,
not indigenous to
Iroquois.
America.
What else? Seminole, Lumbee,
Oh,
the Chickasaw,
That's not how it works.
the you know what I'm saying? Like come on now. Like
All right,
we can name
name something outside of those tribes.
Those are the
Apache,
five
the
civilized
Sioux, the
tribes.
Crow.
Apache, they're not east of the Mississippi.
No.
Yeah,
You said
Apache.
name something outside. You
Yeah,
named
Apache.
something
Outside that's east of
Dene
the
in
the
Puerto
Biloxi,
Rico,
the Biloxi, the Tunica,
Dene
the
in Puerto
Biloxi, the
Rico.
Tunica,
You're not next
the
to
Biloxi, the Tunica,
the Mobile. We can
the
keep
Mobile.
going.
No, okay, what
You know,
language they speak?
Muskogean. Some of those spoke a Muskogean language. That's why the Choctaw and the Chickasaw.
What do the Biloxi speak?
More than likely, I don't know. I would say a Muskogean language. Maybe they're related, or if
No,
not, some Tunica
they
language.
speak Sioux.
When you
speak
break
Sioux.
it down, it's a Udo.
No.
They speak Sioux.
Tunica
speak the Biloxi speaks Sioux.
Tunica and Biloxi
Second.
tribe is still a tribe. It's still a tribe around. They don't
Yes.
speak Sioux. I promise
Yes,
you,
the
they don't speak
Biloxi
Sioux.
are Siouan speaking people. They're Eastern Sioux.
Sioux are blunt are Plains Indians. They do
No,
not
they're
speak
Hold on,
not.
bro.
the
No,
You
they're
don't
not.
Bro.
No, they're
Yeah,
not,
bro.
bro.
You didn't
Like,
even know what
like
language they just spoke.
you didn't even know the goddamn language. The Biloxi are Eastern Sioux,
Yeah,
just
Sioux-
like the Monacan, the
Sioux are-
Saponi, the
The Sioux
Catawba.
are
Like y'all, yeah. The Biloxi speak Sioux, like the Santee on the east and in the plains, right? You have the Saponi, you have the Catawba, you have the Monacan, you have the Okanichi, you got the Tulalo. Like
I ask a question.
yeah.
There was I don't know who said it, but someone said if you cannot trace your lineage back to the Mexican pyramids, then that means you are not native. Can that person expound on what they meant by that?
Science and geometry was derived from the ancient cultures on our planet that were utilized to map out the mounds and the snakes that correlate with the astronomical markers in the sky. So when you trace back the geometry, which takes a long time to develop, it comes from South America. That's why I said that. So in order to align the snake mounds pointing to the equinox and all these pyramids that align to the stars, you need geometry. So when you follow the geometry,
Okay.
you find out who really is the indigenous people. That's all.
Okay, so how is it that the pyramids in how is it that the pyramids in Egypt also follow the same geometry, but I'm pretty sure they're not linked to
It's
Mexico?
a very fabulous question. Exactly, because that culture.
But there was more Negroes. That's why.
Yeah,
Y'all
hold
niggas
on,
ain't
y'all,
do
hold
that.
on.
Let's check it out.
One
No,
second. I got the floor. Like, yeah, some folks told me to sort like it ain't nothing to source up. Yeah, Siouan tribes of the East. Table of contents: the Southern Atlantic stock. Siouan migrations and Iroquois conquest. You have the Biloxi. Oh, who were we just talking about? The Biloxi. The Monacan, the Manahoac. You're right, Saponi, Tulalo, tribes I just named, the Shura or the Sara, the Kiowa, the Eno. You got the Wokon, who are connected to the Tuscarora now, right? Catawba, Waxhaw, Sugary, the Petey, the Wasama, the Winya, the Siwa, the Santi, the Watery, the Congaree. These are all in South Carolina. What are we
See,
talking
bro, you
about?
just be talking. Stick to Louisiana, brother.
But for Annie, so the importance of the geometry indicates which civilizations are the oldest. So in Africa, they developed geometry simultaneously as us in America are developing geometry through the study of.
Oh, that's cap.
So the
I don't even know what happened.
the importance of
Yeah, I did
African
that. My bad.
culture is very important because they also developed geometry. The main difference is that we came up with the concept of zero. That's the main difference.
Bro, you know that Mississippian culture is older than y'all, right? You know that, right?
Look, I'm not going to argue with you, bro. If you say so, that's fine. That's your belief.
You want me
That's
to
fine.
pull it up and show it?
Earlier, I heard the gentleman say not to tell each other what we think other people's lives are, and I'm not telling you what your life is. I'm telling
I'm
you my
speaking for
experience.
Mississippi, bro. That's all. The Petapucha, y'all is who y'all are, bro.
Oh, did he drop
Father's
after
tribe.
that?
My father's tribe is a Purepecha,
Yeah,
correct?
he dropped his stuff.
My question is, would you say the same thing for Stonehenge?
No, I
Yeah.
believe after they entered Egypt, they stole that, technology from the Africans. We know that the Greeks come into Africa and assimilate all the teachings and findings that they find in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, otherwise known as the Coming Forth by Light.
All y'all did.
All right, just wanted to see.
Come on. But
It's not. It's a double-edged sword. With the colonization, they brought over the Bible, which kind of brainwashed my culture. However, I got to explore Africa through that book, researching those.
What's up,
It's
Frenchie?
a beautiful. I always say, it's a beautiful collection of Sumerian, Babylonian, and African culture, and that's how I know so much about African culture. And I embrace it. If it's in me, I'm waiting to take a DNA test. So it is what it is.
Hey,
Well,
bro.
family at this point.
Let me tell you something, bro. Africans didn't call themselves Africans. You heard? And Egypt
I know that.
Egypt ran from northeast Africa all the way up to Turkey, bro. All the way up to Turkey.
Hey,
The older maps will show you a lot of Southern Europe is actually attributed to Africa, but over the years they've manipulated the map to cut off a lot of that and be able to attribute what happens in that little belt there to Europe instead of to
no, I
North
was just getting
Africa.
fresh air because I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok
Can I add on
Live.
to that?
what's up? What's up, Chiefess? You can come on up.
Can I
You
add
want
on
to?
to it?
Go ahead, Poochie. Yeah, since you from
Just another thing I wanted to say too. A lot of the kingdoms inside of Central China area, it was a lot of Austronesian groups that produced that architecture. You call it.
Facts.
That's why it's not very commonly seen now. There was a lot of Austronesian groups, but during the dynasties, a lot of those ethnic
What up, Marcus?
were extinct due to racial purification over there in Asia. That's why China to this day is still very black.
Yeah,
I want
they
to
not
add something real
extinct. They
quick because I have to hop
pushed
off.
out. Hold on, J-Bird, real quick. They not extinct. They pushed out to the oceans. They the Adam and Eve people and the oceanic people today. So, but go
I'm
ahead.
tracking. I know that.
I was just gonna say, Mixum Styles said something about how the Aztec created the number 0, which is not accurate. Most ancient civilizations had
They
a
incorporated
symbol
it
or
from the
number
Toltec.
for. Okay, most ancient
Thank you for the follow.
civilizations had a number or symbol that represented 0 or nothing. It's not that the Toltec came up with the number 0, or else no one would be able to do any kind of construction. You mean to tell me that they just start at 1 and there's nobody that can conceptualize that there's nothing before? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. You could literally search it up. The Egyptians, ancient Indians, people in different parts of Africa and in South America, also, they all had symbols for 0. It's just accredited to the Toltec as in the literal number 0, but there's other symbols for it. So that was inaccurate.
And I don't think he realized that algebra is named after algebra. It been out. Like, we've been on math. Like, we the fathers of math, bro.
Greek assimilation word for geometry and algebra. Our ancestors didn't call it.
Algebra comes from algebra. Al is a Arabic word, bro. What are you
Thank you
talking
for the
about?
gifts, Frenchie.
Yeah, that's the original white man.
Mix them
It's
what?
not the original white man. Ain't no such thing as an original white man. They mutations.
Oh yeah,
What's an
anybody
original
not
white
from
man?
Africa, anybody that wasn't African at that
Yeah,
time.
bro, you up here spreading lies, bro. Go ahead, Jay Bird. My bad.
Mixon was lying. Mixon has been lying since he gave that little speech a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Talking about
Mixon, let me
original.
ask you something before I hop down. So, are you aware that the lighter skin has actually been proven to not have existed over 8,500 years ago at the longest?
Thank you. Thank you.
What's up?
Original
Mind your
white man.
business.
It's actually been scientifically
So
proven
who's,
by
so
your
who's
science,
the original
by
white man?
European
Arab
studies.
is the original white man, correct?
No,
Before
listen, this has
No,
nothing
he's
to do with
not.
what I
No,
just
he's
asked.
not. The Arabs are from Yemen, bud. The
before
original
the
Arabs are the
Are
Adonites,
dark
bro, and they're from
skinned.
Yemen. They're from Yemen, dark-skinned people, bro. The rest of them people you see today are Turks that from the Mongolian and Ottoman empires. They invaded over 50% of the damn world, and they took over the whole Middle East, bro, and Iran. You don't even know
Well,
what you're
listen, the
talking
reason
about.
the reason I had asked about the light skin not being present over 8,500 years ago is because the same scientists state that Native Americans migrated into America from Asia about 22,000 years ago. So that means there was no light skinned people migrating from Asia to America. If not only do they tell you when
Exactly.
they look at Native American DNA, they have Proto-Eurasian DNA, meaning before European and Asian, but even all the way up until 4,000 years ago, they still all had dark skin. Some of them still having afros, some
Yeah.
of them having straight hair. So the thing is there was nobody that looked like you in the continent of America during the foundation of America. I wanted to put that out there.
right, we went past the foundation of America. That's when the Afro people are introduced into America. We went way
No,
past that.
I'm
Correct. I
talking
understand.
about the foundation of
I'm
America
going
as
past
in
that. We went
22,000
yeah,
years
correct. The
ago.
foundation of America, 400
No,
Well,
years
can we
ago.
keep
Correct.
22,000 years
hold on
ago.
one mic, yo. Let each other land.
Yeah. So look at you're talking about 2,000
I
years
said
ago. My dad's
22,000
tribe
years ago.
One mic, y'all. One mic.
dad's tribe plays a game 4,000 years old, but it's
That
called
has nothing to
Purepecha.
do with what I just said. I said 22,000
Okay,
years
but
ago
no,
when
that's
the
fine.
Native Americans, according to the same science
When the
that says
northern
250 people
migration,
migrated from Asia, migrated into America, there was no light skin that existed. There was only dark skin,
look at that.
afros, and different textured hair.
When they migrate down, we give them corn, but they meet us. What
What
are
are
you
you
talking
talking
about?
about? There,
Who
We
me?
had the
Who?
pyramids already here, bro.
is this dude speaking English right now? Because I could swear to you, he's not even on the same topic that I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm gonna get up out of here, Darvin. I'll be back on my
I
main.
understand when you guys
All
walk
right.
over, when the
All
northern,
right. Peace.
when our northern brothers walk over, I know we're already here. I get you, bro.
No, that's not what I
I'm
said.
with you.
I said there was no light
That's
skin
Now you up here
before
confusion, bro.
with the first migration of people to America. There
color,
was
bro.
no
I'm dark.
light skin even until about 8,000 years ago. And even Native Americans today, they all descend from something called a Proto-Eurasian, which means Proto-European Asian, and it actually says Western Eurasian, meaning completely European, are the foundational blocks for a common day Native American. So what I'm saying is, if Europeans did not have light skin until at the longest 8,500 years ago, and most Europeans had afro, some of them had straight hair, some of them had colored eyes, that means that the people that descend from Western Europeans would have migrated to America 22,000 years ago with dark skin, afros, and straight hair, and some of them possibly containing colored eyes. There was no people that had light skin or even an Asiatic phenotype at that time period.
Okay, so when they come out of the northern snow, they have changed, correct? There's so much time has passed.
No,
that
the reason I brought
Hold
up
on.
that article was
No, you're right. I'm not.
the reason I brought up
It's the
the reason I brought up that article specifically was because it proves that you don't need light skin to live where there is no sun. That's literally the whole part of the point of that whole article is talking about. They initially said you need light skin to live far away from the equator. That is not the truth, and that's why they even came to that conclusion. They said, "Oh, even up to 4,000 years ago, Europeans were still heavily melanated. How did they change within 4,000 years from dark skin to light skin?" And then they go into the fact that they're severely inbred, and they talk about the history of them kicking out the black people from Europe between 1492 and 1496, kicking them down sub-Saharan. So that's why even in North Africa to this day, they have heavy European DNA in North Africa, in different places like in Central West Africa as well. They carry an A1 haplogroup and an R1B1 haplogroup that they say, oh, it must have come from the Chadic speaking people and this and that. When those people were also a part of Europe's foundation, and even the first people of Great Britain had an A1 haplogroup that comes from West Africa. So what you're saying is not making any sense.
What's up, Gaddy? What's up, Gaddy?
So let's stay at what you said. You said a
So
lot. So
Darwin,
they,
let me see
All right.
one more time.
brothers
All right,
migrated
one
over.
second. I want to say, hold on one second. After,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna let y'all two get to. Can we pass the mic around? I want a flowing panel.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this what we talking about right here. So this little straight hair little baby come from stuff like this, right? These Ongi people, Adam and Eve, Semang people, the people that's still in Asia that never turned Chinese, they still alive. These would be your people that science based this migration off and said that these people changed from one thing to another. But what we know is it's archaic admixture that changed the phenotype of you guys. You guys, so if you pull up your DNA test right now, you will be 90-something% more Neanderthal than everybody on your 23andMe.
Wait.
Because
That source is Trip Down Memory Lane. What's the source? I'm
hold
sorry.
on, bro. I was talking, bro. Chill out. But let me show you the document anyway. It's right here. Give me a second. So anyway, we talking about basal, right? Which means the foundation. Basal Eurasians are an ancient human lineage that diverged from other Eurasians before the spread of Neanderthal
Thank you for the
admixture.
follow, Chloe.
You get what I'm saying? While the Ongi are an indigenous group in the Adam and Eve Islands, right? Recent research. Hold on, bro. I know you're crashing out. Stop crashing out, bro. They never turned Chinese, bro. Recent research suggests that the basal East Asian population potentially ancestral to the Ongi. So the Ongi phenotype is a direct phenotype from the basal Eurasians. And they the darkest motherfuckers you'll ever see, bro. That's all, bro.
To be
All right, cool.
to be clear, your foundation is from Asia. Is that what you mean?
No, I don't know what
That's
he's
not
saying.
what he's saying. In layman's terms, what he is saying is this notion that the skin type determines, or your location and skin type of today determines who the original people of that place were. So what he was showing you was that until Neanderthal, the lack of melanin with Neanderthals landed in that region, the people look like what he shows you.
What's up, son, Brave?
So the
What's
features
up?
that they have of more closed and tighter eyes and a smaller nose and straighter hair was present with the darker skin individuals who are native to that region. And the other people that you see today actually came about with the mixture of Neanderthal genealogy. So that's what he's trying to say. No, actually, that's what he did say. Sorry, that's what he did say.
I'm glad I was in the United States over here with my culture.
Okay. All right. So we can get back to the
Hold
topic.
on. I got a question for you, Maxim. Why on the murals in Central America, it don't show your people on there then? It show a whole bunch of dark-skinned people. Nobody that looks like you is on those murals.
People, correct. It shows different in it, and
it doesn't. Maxim, stop fucking lying.
I'm darker than a lot of people.
Maxim.
Hold on, y'all.
Stop lying. What you got to do when you get on here, not lie.
Hey, see if I'm darker than you, bro.
You are lying. You didn't. Your people are not even from here. You're a literal Siberian. You're a literal Siberian trying to tell other people what they are.
Telling me what I am.
You're a literal Siberian, bro.
You guys just said you guys originated in Siberia and walked over here, bro.
We didn't say that we came from anywhere else.
All right, y'all. One mic.
We didn't say we came from anywhere else.
One mic, please. Thank you. I wanted to get back to the topic.
Host, I feel like they're arguing about. I'm sorry if you're talking. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I feel like they're arguing. I feel like the most time we're arguing about like these different segmented groups, right? That like are explicit of each other. Like they do not exist with each other. They are different from each other, which is cool. right? It's always good to like delineate whose history is whose history, right? Like everybody's history is not the same, and we can't
Right.
just group everybody together. But I
Uh-huh.
think also at the same time, it's like trying to take away from the Black American and the Native American kind of
What's
like
up,
power
High?
structure that was in place, and that we of course don't know about, right? But you know, there were Black people escaping to these Native American, you know, habitats, and so it's like for us to kind of delineate that and try to separate that and try to make that a thing. It's like no, like we understood that there was a group of people that we could go to that would not, you know, treat us this way. And so when we try to talk about like delineating, you know, Native American cultures and African, it's just like no, like oppressed people are oppressed people.
Okay, cool. When would like
I wanted to respond to that real quick. Sorry. Go ahead.
nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because the way that I think about it, right? It's like if you go the path of least resistance, what Kingdom said makes sense. If we're going to say, right, if we're going to say, like, hey, there were Native American people, Native Black American people here, and let's say they were slaves and slaves went over to the reservation, wouldn't it make sense if you were in a place
No.
that you rather. No. I'm not taking away from that the Black American indigenous people were here. They were here, right? Wouldn't it make sense if I'm in a foreign place and I don't know anything that's going on and I'm running from somebody who doesn't look like me, that I might run towards people who do?
We got over
I mean,
550 Monroe communities by ourselves. You
hold
know.
on.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
no,
on.
I'm just saying that. Like, but I'm saying, let's say if I were in a new place and I saw your tribes here and your tribes look like how y'all look now, and I'm running away from somebody who violated me that don't look like me, wouldn't it make sense that I run towards you?
Run to
I mean,
the
it could
darkest
make
skinned
sense.
person.
Hold on one second. It could make sense if that was the case.
All right.
When Africans came over here, they mostly married Europeans.
But there are some
Wait, what do you
histories
mean
that
married?
say
Yeah,
that
they married
reservations.
Europeans. Like I'm talking about the 13 colonies, right? 13 colony history because I've seen slave records, right? When Africans got off the boat, they married European people or they married Indians, right? But they didn't come over. When we talk about the first Africans and things like that, runaway slaves, there's runaway slaves that were Indians. So
Right.
what reservation are
Check the
they
whole
going to?
That's
Now,
true.
and check
if they, yeah,
the
hold on
whole response.
one second, right? Let's say there's an enslaved Algonquin, and they're enslaved. They're not about to run to the goddamn Iroquois reservation. They're not about to run to the Monacan reservation because they didn't fuck with them. They know where to go.
I'm not talking about people who were already native to this land. If you're native to the land, you're gonna run home, right? But if you're in a new place and you have no idea what the heck is going on, wouldn't it make sense that some of these reservations actually were the places they ran to? Because there are stories in which Native American stories that say they did hide slaves or people that ran away.
Annie, I think this is
But
the thing is
how
that
do you
Which
hide
Annie
that?
which
How do you
tribe?
hide
Which
it?
tribe? I got.
There's some
I was about to say
confusion. First of
which.
all,
Go ahead.
by calling, sorry, if I may, you
Uh-huh.
calling
Yeah.
everyone native is confusing. That's the first thing. Because the people that are the first contact people of the nation are not natives. Native is a term that is a government term that was made up post the Louisiana Purchase, post the Indian Removal Act. That is a U.S. government term. It's not the term that was historically used for us. We are American Indians, okay? So the Negroid people that are indigenous to America are American Indians. So if you're talking about the Seminoles, which are the main tribe they talk about, nation that they say that was mixed, my own genealogy says that my people who were Indian left when they started calling them colored and they started calling them Negro. My older uncles left Virginia and went and joined the Seminoles. But let me tell you, it's just Indians joining Indians, and it's Indian joining cousins, because we're all interconnected. Because if you understand, we got people that go all the way up to Canada, down all the way to Alabama, across the daggone Mississippi. We're interconnected people. So would an African go run to join the Indian? Well, do they join the Negroes now? No. Okay. Do they join us now? Hell no. Okay. They run to the Europeans. They don't run to our neighborhoods. They run to collect what good stuff we got, like roles and movies, you know, and being the daggone professors at Morehouse and teaching in the medical school. Yeah, they'll take that. But they're not coming to be amongst the people. That ain't happening. Okay. So no,
Can't hide
that
in
is
the
not a
government.
historical. There's no precedent for that. Okay. There's no precedence for them. First of all, being imported in any number that is significant. And also there's no precedence of them even being here to the point that they needed to run. The people that were running from slavery were the whiteys. They were running from slavery. They were the people that was running and hiding. Look at Benjamin Franklin. He's a runaway slave. Understand that that's what that is.
Thank you, Chiefess.
I'm just
Thank you.
saying,
Thank
you
you.
can't hide on a reservation. Reservation is a government camp. You can't hide where the white people at. You gotta like get away from them, not go to them. That don't make no
But on a
sense.
reservation,
I'm not
Yeah,
into
why would you hide
xenophobia.
on a?
That ain't nothing. Like, how is that? Well, how is that what she said? Xenophobic. If that's history. The Africans weren't even interested in owning land here. They weren't interested about American land at all. They didn't give a fuck. And if they did marry Indians, they assimilated. They assimilated.
Right.
What are we talking about?
we assimilated in every way. I mean, there's no culture that we did not
I don't
assimilate
think
in.
Africans had a choice,
What?
man. They were
Yeah,
enslaved,
there
weren't
was
they?
no choice.
Who is we?
I mean, like we assimilated into every culture that was not hostile towards us, right? Like, I mean, of course, we wouldn't go directly into the main culture that was
Who's
saying,
we?
"Hey,
I'm asking who's we. I'm asking who's the we in this example.
we," as in the people who were brought here.
Okay, cool. Well, so your folks. All right, I got you. All right, where you from? Where you from, Kingdom?
From Ohio, but I know that my family's from down south.
Down south. Where? Okay,
Yes.
what part? What part of down south?
Alabama, like straight out the mud.
Alabama, grandma, great grandparents. Your great grandparents are from Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they moved up here. I want to say like middle 1800s, late
Kingdom,
1800s.
is your last name Dixon? There's any Dixons in your family?
No, my last name is Patrick, and I feel like I want to know more about Patrick's. If
You're
that's
probably
like
Irish. So so from when I did my genealogy, right, there was a lot of Irish people in Alabama. So what you need to do is I don't know why you're on this app if you don't know who your family is, nigga. You can't come to the cookout without no pots, no pans, no
No, I know
pop,
who
you know what I'm saying?
my
What's up, I?
descendants are from. I don't know like my
You
family
said you know your
now.
percentage. You said you know your percentage, but you don't know your genealogy. That's
No,
ass
I know
backwards,
my
bro.
I know my ancestors, but I don't know who now is my family, basically.
Oh, so
That don't make no sense.
what you mean?
What's up, CR?
Y'all
So-
on him. Y'all
So,
are
like-
on him basically because most African Americans after a certain time period cannot trace their ancestry due to record loss and a whole bunch of things.
You gotta speak for yourself.
If it's a damn hill, my shit go back to the
Okay.
1400s.
All right.
I was about to say, it
You can't
depends.
fact this shit doesn't mean everybody else can't fact
You
it.
can't. Okay.
We can. We can.
No. If you have Native American blood, you may be able to. But
No.
again,
Who told you that? Like, what state are you
It
in?
don't got nothing to do with Native American blood.
You're literally near the National Archives. If you're in the DMV area, right? There's records.
Correct.
Hold on, there's records there.
There are records of people around this area. What's the
No,
My bad,
there's
my bad,
records
my
for the
bad.
whole. It's records for the whole country in the National Archives. It's the National Archives. It's for the
Yeah,
country.
bro, look, this is a Negro from 1600s, bro, in Virginia. I mean, in Delaware. This is a Negro right here from 1600, bro. Right here. It's really, I mean, Virginia, my bad. It's really easy to find. Black Jack Francisco, 1630. It's not hard to find, bro. Speak for yourself. That's why we keep telling y'all this shit. We not the same, bro.
So, thank you.
Yeah, y'all not lying. I just wanted to get up here because I'm from
What's up?
DC, born and raised.
Shout out to
and this-
DC.
yeah, this you said what?
I said shout out to DC. I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah, this person you see on the that's my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Her
God
folks
bless you.
they from Virginia, and I know my great grandfather, his mother was from Sierra Leone, and this is the story that my great aunt told me. And when they said Sierra Leone, I thought West Africa myself, but they said that was here, and that was from the
Mm.
Louisiana through Mississippi, going up through Tennessee.
Wow. I never heard that before. Thank
Yeah,
you for
but
sharing.
that's the story that I got from my great aunt. She's
Okay.
still around. So like I said, but my great grandfather, the story been passed down because I've been digging deeper into my genealogy to get past them, which I
Uh-huh.
had found. But like I said, like I thought Sierra Leone when because he had like a very heavy accent, my great grandfather, and and like I said, I thought Sierra Leone they was talking about West Africa, but they said that was from here.
For sure. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Folks gotta do their genealogy. Like how far does your family tree go back? That's why we're asking folk. How far does your family tree go back?
Host, can I respond or no?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it's crazy how a lot of y'all are saying like go back to your family history, go back to your genealogy. Like, do y'all not know what happened, or do
Yes, we know what happened. You're talking to someone
right?
that's from the first two colonies, sir. My people are first contact.
I'm not talking to you specifically, host. I'm just saying like I'm saying for like all of like Black Americans, like do y'all not know what happened? Like why
Yes,
we not understand like before a certain
I
point.
could tell you about Ohio, right? A lot of people from Ohio came from Virginia in the South. Ohio had a lot of free people of color that
Yes.
migrated from Virginia,
Yes.
places like Virginia, the Carolinas, and they migrated up from the South, right? And you also see people in Ohio go from white to black. They were originally classified
And
as
you
white one census. Hold on one second. They'd be originally classified as white one census. They might be classified as mulatto the second census. And then the third census they were on, they might be classified as black.
That I
right,
can
and check
agree
the
with.
1600 census, and you'll see that there always been free Negroes side by side with enslaved Negroes. There's always been free Negroes since the beginning.
Yeah,
So the
my
Negroes that could
grandmother's
read.
great grandfather, they in the 1880s, 90s, 1900s, 1910, 20, they were labeled as Negroes, but in 1930 they changed them to white.
Yeah. There's states I could tell you about. I could tell you a little bit about Louisiana, right? Louisiana records, they have African records of enslaved people. People from Con, people from they have Moors, people that were Moors, people that were Fulani, people that were from Guinea. Yeah, the Fula, the Guinea people, right? They have enslaved records in South Carolina. They have enslaved records all over the goddamn country. People have to do their own due diligence and find. Yes, there's places that were burnt, right? There were places that were burnt, but that's not the bulk of places where you can find information from, right? If you really want to go deep, you can go to county courts, you can go to archive, you can go to libraries, genealogical centers.
Host, I've gone that deep. I've gone that deep, host, right? And I found out that my father was the first offense he made, right, to go into prison was a marijuana offense for holding a certain amount. Or what do I say on TikTok? A green offense for holding a certain amount. Regardless, the thing is, it doesn't matter, right? We can go back as far as we want to, right? But the thing is, right, our family is not here, right? It's not living next to us. It's not here in a community with us,
Well,
right?
that's why.
So we
So
can
are
go
you not?
back.
So
That's
you
why
don't have
Are
no
you not?
elders? You don't
One
have no
second.
grandparents around?
Like you ain't got no elders, no
Hold on.
grandparents. You ain't like why does that? Why if they're not physically here, so what? That's still your family.
And they left notes. They left diaries and shit. You know what I mean? My parents got a whole book about our history, bro. Literally.
Tell me
I
you
don't.
came from the orphan trains without telling me you came from the orphan
We
trains.
literally have a whole
Right.
chief that's on the. We literally have a whole chief that's on the panel right now.
Hey, let me
From a
address something
tribe.
to Kingdom real quick.
Would
Hey,
y'all agree
Kingdom,
that places like
the
Maryland, Virginia,
entire
and the DMV area they've had a history of free people of color for a lot longer? Would y'all agree with that?
Outside of Louisiana, yes.
Okay, outside Louisiana. And for most of human history, most people have not been able to read and or write. Can we agree
Okay,
with that?
read or write what?
That's
Read or
English?
write. No. Read or write.
Lie.
English.
That's a lie.
English.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
hold on.
not
Read or
English.
write what? English?
Specifically English. We're gonna say
Yeah,
English.
specifically, yeah, English. Because
You
supposed to
not.
read
You
or
can't
write.
even stick to that because
Right.
are you familiar with the dude who wrote the Three Musketeers? Wasn't no YT man.
Okay. That's
So
And how
new.
did
hold on.
the free
How was
Negroes
he
who had
able to?
slaves?
Hold on. How was
Yeah,
he
let
able
the
to
original
read
go.
and write books, but
Musketeers.
nobody else
One
could
mic
read
on
and write?
original. Yeah, one mic
Guy
on
that wrote
original.
the
Go
Three
ahead.
Musketeers was half black. Was half black and white.
Go ahead,
Go
original.
ahead, original. Yeah, you got it.
This is what I'm saying. It's plenty of people that was writing books in that time, and if nobody could read and write, why the hell was they writing books?
No. I wasn't saying they couldn't. I was speaking English and specifically to the what's called it to the Maryland DMV area.
Even in
Right.
English, bro.
But the guy that wrote the Three Musketeers was Haitian specifically and French, if I remember correctly. Correct?
So
Dumont, Edward Dumont.
Dumas. Right?
Yeah, Dubai.
Dumas. Because I speak French also. Go figure. So that's a separate conversation. We're gonna go with the Maryland aspect of what I'm gonna go with. Okay. There are free people of color in most of human history. Most people have not been able to read or write. That's right, but we're going to say English for this point of view. So, of course, there will be more records that there have been more free people of color here. And in African American history class here in the DMV, there are two families, if I remember correctly, that are spoken of a lot. I think they start with a P. A name like
The Proctors and the Butlers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fine.
That's my family.
Okay, facts. So y'all have been not only successful as a people. Y'all have been very successful as a people. Y'all have been able to be educated as a people up here. Still a very small area.
That's not necessarily true because they had their own shit. They had their own shit.
No, everybody got their own. Everybody got their own.
They had their own. No, they had their own. Hold on, one second. They had their own lands and stuff. Butlers and Proctors had their own land. They were Piscataway. Like they weren't dealing with white folks like that.
Thanks.
And my people was and French and Spanish and all those are polysynthetic languages. These are new languages. Y'all keep thinking this shit is ancient. Y'all think everything is old except America.
Right.
Them places
y'all gotta
is
look
new.
in the Nansemond area where the Keys, the Bass, you know what I'm saying, and the Rosses is from. We all knew how to do our own things. We were separate from other people. We were segregated, so we taught ourselves. Our teachers were of color. You know what I'm saying? Our bosses were of color. Our architects were of color. You know what I'm saying? Our preachers, pastors, everybody was of color. There was no white people with us.
Yeah, and speaking on the Proctors and the Butlers, right? They spread out different parts of Maryland. You had Charles County, you had St. Mary's County, some with the Baltimore, some with the DC. All right, like they've been doing. One second. Like they've been doing like their own thing away from the free people of color in Maryland were building towns. My family built Anne Arundel County. Literally, they built Charles County. They built PG County, where people are living in now, right? We talk about the richest black communities. They built Baltimore City. Baltimore City had free people of color, more free people of color than slaves since its inception.
I'm good to go.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but just the FYI, they tell you in school that Christopher Columbus was sent and funded by the church to go find the New World. Whole time they said they sent him to go find a holy land. So in other words, they knew they knew of this place existing, the Americas existing. They just didn't have any proof of it yet. And the people who helped navigate them over there to the Oceanica, because it wasn't called the Atlantic Ocean there then. There were Moors that were on the pirate ships. That's why you ever pay attention in pirate movies, they always got a black dude with gold hoop earrings in. And a lot of people don't know the significance of gold hoop earrings because that's how they used to differentiate itself. It's a long story. It has something to do with indentured servitude.
So if you want to know about the pirates of America and the Moors, you're going to have to look up the Republic of the Pirates in the Bahamas and Port Royal, Jamaica. So that's a whole nother chapter of Negroes that had nothing to do with this history. They had their own history.
Exactly.
On the sea.
Because even
Yeah.
then, grandson, a lot of people don't know that literally Jack Sparrow was literally based off of Moorish pirate. You can look this up. He was based off of Moorish pirate. It's the reason he was running around in dreads. And you know Hollywood has a weird obsession with
Yeah.
giving white folks dreads. Black
Check it
coded
out.
characters.
Walk the Plian. Check it out. Walk the Plian community. Them niggas is talking patois, bro. They talking patois.
Was it work? Yep, that's
Yeah.
true, Cedar. That's true, Cedar.
Yeah, because even then, when my grandma spoke, she spoke like old timey English. She speaks
What's
like
up, Juicy?
crabs.
Very English based. Yeah, very
Diego
English
was
based
one.
accent.
And
Well, I
Diego
would most
took
of the
Diego is
proctors
the
and
nigga who
butlers that
built
I've met.
he
Why most of
built
the
Francis
problems? What?
Drake's shit.
Well, I went most of the proctors and butlers I've met because that is a huge family. We would definitely say, when I say successful, y'all are successful because y'all are recorded as an old family and y'all go till now. That's the success I'm speaking of. When most of the proctors and butlers that I go to school with or anything in that nature take the DNA test, most of them do come back with non-Native American blood. Non-Native American.
What is it? What is that? So the butler. Do you know who resurrected the Piscataway?
I don't know. I don't know who resurrected the Piscataway. I'm just
What
talking
his
about.
No. This is what I'm about to tell you. William Sheridan Proctor, aka Turkey Tayoc, resurrected the Piscataway.
And there is no Virginia DNA
And I'm
or
related.
Indian reference.
And
Yeah,
he's seeing it like
exactly.
he's seen everybody's DNA. So
Exactly. And then
how many people
23andMe
that
doesn't
you
even have
saw?
23andMe doesn't even have North American DNA samples. They say
Exactly.
it. And then I was about to say, why don't they have that, this, and that? William Sheridan Proctor, Turkey Tayoc. That's my cousin. We descend from the first Proctors in Charles County, Maryland, who will be Elizabeth Proctor. Right? She came in the hold on one second. She came in the 1700s. That's how they married. And then her daughter, Elizabeth Proctor, who she named her daughter after, married into the Butler family. So that's where the Butler Proctor mixing starts. In Charles County, in St. Mary's County, Maryland.
So I just want to throw this in there real quick. I'm a butler too myself, but I want to throw this in there, right? When you check the DNA, right? And you check when we take a DNA and they show you the genetic communities of South Carolina, North Carolina, Ohio, all that. What do those ethnicities in them genetic communities come up as? Do they come up as Black American or African?
You want to answer? Like I can give you an answer. They do come up as West African descent. They also have
There you go.
they come up as a regional area where most of your family has been for the last couple hundred years.
Yeah, we don't have no ethnicity. We don't have no ethnicity inside that database. They are all of our genetic communities is in the African bank. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is that Virginia Indians are not in a reference panel. It's true. You never seen a Black American ethnicity or a percentage for our ethnicity on there. They automatically throw us in the African reference panel automatically.
I don't know if that's particularly true. Wouldn't it have been basically because Native Americans, as we have seen in historical aspects, were either attacked, killed off, intermarried, or anything of those nature? If anybody in Virginia was the Algonquin-speaking Native Americans, wouldn't they have just been assimilated within?
Ogun, you can ask the Native Americans themselves when they first got in the battle. They'll all tell you the same thing. The Battle of Little Bighorn in 1870. So all that colonization story you talking about, they didn't ever come across no Native Americans. They came across people that look like us.
What's up, Prophet? And then, what was he saying? What was Ogun saying?
I was talking
What's
about
the last thing you said?
The last thing I said about the Prophet Butler. Again, there have been a decent amount of descendants that go to school with. Cause that's a big difference, especially during the time period when Ancestry.com was a huge thing. A lot of them have come back and they have been non-Native American DNA in their blood.
That don't change who they related. If they're related to William Sheridan Proctor,
And
who is
look,
who?
and he
Hold on
lying.
one second.
When did you go to school?
Hold on one second. If that's their cousin, how do they not become Indian? How are they not Indian if that's their cousin?
You can be related to somebody through the European aspect or the African aspect, and not
the aspect. Like who? What? I'm literally telling you, the Proctors. I literally told you the progenitor of the Proctor Piscataway family. It's Elizabeth Proctor. If they descend from Elizabeth Proctor, like me and Turkey Tayoc do, how are they not Indian? They no more.
They didn't pick up that DNA.
They didn't pick,
Where's
how are
the
they not going to pick up their
Virginia?
DNA? Hold on, one
D,
second, one
D,
second, one second, one second. What DNA?
DNA is like that.
I got
Sometimes,
I got my genetic sequence, right? I'm related to Algonquin people through my
yes,
genetics.
I'm not knocking that. I'm related to the Choctaw people through my genetics, but that does not make me. And again, that's I picked it up, but that doesn't mean everybody that I'm related to picked up Native American DNA.
So what is
You may look like your great grandfather and not know it. Vice versa, several years down the road. That's not how DNA
that don't mean they're not related. That don't mean they're not the Piscataway Indians of the Proctor lineage. It's a lineage.
I think they
of
have
people.
I think they have a common ancestor.
Yeah, common. Hold on one second. If the common ancestor is the progenitors of the Proctor family of the Piscataway, who are Piscataway, how did they lose being Indian? Huh? Where does it go? Where did the Indian go?
Through more African and European admixture.
Through
That's
more
what.
what Africans in Maryland?
You don't
Name
lose
the
white
African.
DNA. Bro.
Yeah, no, name the Africans in America.
Didn't
In
you
America, in
literally just
Maryland.
say that we can go look at records? At the
Yeah, we
African
can go. We
Museum
can go. We can go
Africans
look at
in
records.
Maryland.
I do genealogy, so I've been to the
There
Maryland
is
State
none.
Archives. Hold on, I've
Fuck
been to this
together,
Maryland
bro.
State Arch. Yeah, I've been to the Maryland State Archives. I'm gonna go to the National Archives Monday. I'm gonna go look at
And
it.
you can't. And you can't lose
Like,
mitochondrial DNA, bro. It doesn't go anywhere, bro.
I think host is saying something that we all should be looking towards. It's like it's not just about what our state says or our community says. No, like let's go to the archives. Let's actually go into what our history says.
exactly. For sure. I'm glad you're picking that up, Kingdom. Not to say you wouldn't, but yeah, for laying it like that. Like, let's look at the records. I know the Proctor and the Butler family like the back of my goddamn hand. Because they're my ancestors.
The key thing
And I would
is
tell,
when he said,
and one last thing, and I'll land, right? And the Proctors and Butlers kept intermarrying other Piscataway people. The Swans, the Savoys, the Queens, the Newmans, the goddamn what's the other name? The Queens, I say Queens, Newmans, Proctor, Savon, Savoy, Butler, Queen. Yeah, they kept intermarrying with the same people. But yeah, I'm not the result of the interbreeding though, because my line cuts off in the 1700s. And the Masons too. Go ahead.
One thing you'll never see is a person that's 100% Virginia Indian on a DNA test. That'll never show. I've never seen Virginia Indian on a DNA test.
All English and other European. If they're English and European names, so what? They're still Indians.
Those are the people who colonized us, just like y'all got Spanish names.
Exactly.
And they speak Spanish fluently.
And like being enslaved or mixing with someone that is European doesn't mean that isn't the only way someone got a European name. Some people got baptized. Hold on one second. Like, come on, I'm talking. People got baptized and Christianized and took on European names. Like,
people got taken to England to get baptized.
And just because it say European don't mean that was YT.
Can I add on to that?
European don't mean pale skin.
I know it's not talked about or shared upon, like really talked about it much, but there was a lot of black slave owners. I found one in my genealogy tree in South Carolina, and one of the slaves that were brought there that they had were from Haiti. I have found like a lineage over there. So like a lot of my family members that came in through New York from England owned slaves, and he was classified as black in South Carolina. So like anytime, so like there was a lot of black slave owners. A lot of people don't understand that in the movie Django, Samuel Jackson was a slave owner the whole time.
Exactly, he was the owner. Look, I did a breakdown of the top 10 slave owners of that day, and all the top 10 slave owners all across the United States was melanated. The top one in Louisiana was a melanated woman. The top one in South Carolina was a melanated man. That led me to Edward DeReef and the dude named Ellison. Look up the Cato family and the DeReef family in South Carolina. They had multiple slaves.
Yep. What happened to Uncle Pan African, Mississippi?
He dropped down because he tried to like, oh, I'm in the D. I don't give a fuck how long a nigga been in the DMV. Like I'm related to the people that
Man,
founded it, that were the foundation of the DMV.
Hey, Darvin, I'm gonna get
man,
with you though.
Louisiana Creoles is traders anyway.
But
Yeah,
can I respond to the origin? I think it was the origin that was talking.
go ahead.
He said something
I'll
about
be
like
back, y'all.
black people owning slaves. I get that. But I feel like if you were in that wait, I don't know who's talking. If you were in that time period, right? Like you see slavery on a daily scale, right? You see slavery on like an economic, a very like it's on a scale, right? It's not just something you see on a daily basis. No, this is across the country. And then you say that, I don't know, like maybe like people are, moving across things and that. And it's just like, I don't think that's what slavery means. I think slavery means that like everybody who's incarcerated by the system is incorporated into the system.
No, you're current now. That applies in modern times, but we're talking 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, 1500s. Back then,
we're not talking about
that
past then. Because if you want to go,
that just meant you was in servitude to your family. A lot of those slave owners that had a lot of slaves back then was employing children, which was their family. That's why a lot of our grandparents had 14 and 15 children, because they had 70 acres to you know what I'm saying, take care of. That's why 70 acres to
communicate. We had 14 and 15 children in the slavery economy because they needed more slaves. I mean, there's no correlation that,
farming communities
working on family farms. It was families working on family farms.
Tend to have long.
Okay, so you're talking about a little bit later, right? A little bit later.
No,
because during actual slavery, right, where there was no sharecropping, it was just slavery, right? There were farms.
Hold on, Kingdom. What type of slavery are we talking about? We talking about chattel slavery?
Yes.
Chattel slavery is all slavery in America.
That shit never happened in America. Chattel slavery never happened.
It's literally. Kingdom
okay,
said
Ogun. I'm sorry. I want.
Hold on. Kingdom.
Yeah, I want to be direct with you.
Can you pull me up a picture of more than one? Hold on. Can you pull me up a picture of more than one person with their back whipped up? Or even some melanated people picking cotton that was considered slaves.
I don't understand how that represents.
You understand. You got a smartphone in your hand. Do something smart with it.
I just don't understand how a picture of somebody picking cotton represents slavery.
Okay, look at it like this. When you look at the oldest continuous court records that exist, when you go back into the early 1600s and you see the story of Anthony Johnson, who was a slave owner, who was taken back to court, his former slave. Now, that's one story that they like to put out there. But in the court records, there are numerous accounts of Negroes, or what you would say are Indians, because these people were indentured service from the jump. They only worked 3 to 5 years, and then they were able to sue you.
Most of them ran off.
Them suing, most of them ran off. They are suing
the white tea
their
slaves
so-called employers.
Who are white tea
for goods and
slaves?
services.
Hold on, most of the white tea slaves and the Asian slaves, a lot of them were
Oh my
running
God!
off.
Look at my profile. Look at my profile. A list of books about white slavery. I have a whole picture of books, a whole wall of books about white slavery. Yes, honey. And also, if you look in the colonial records, I have a video where I read through the colonial records, because I have a copy of the London colonial records that go from 1606 to 1622. And the only thing that's put in that book, there is no 1619, by the way, in 1619, but the only thing recorded in there, and I brought this book to Hampton University Museum to share with the curator, okay, because they have a whole African section there. And I was like, look at this. What it shows is that they had several accounts of prisoners coming from Dagon, England, and several accounts of 200 orphans, another 200 orphans coming from England. And then they would give them our surnames, and they would then when they grew up, they would take over our identities. So no, honey, if you actually look into the actual research that are the primary sources, that's why slavery started out as as a 3 to 5 year indentureship, period. The way it became,
Why y'all hold on one second? Why y'all getting so loud with a woman, right? Relax.
the way it became actual, it took a series of things to change from that, because when you look in the records, you'll see there were slave codes, which gradually said, oh, if your mama was not Christian, then you could be forever a slave. It was a process of making people forever slaves that they use in this country. There wasn't shipments of, oh, I'm all in the shackles. First of all, if you farm in Virginia, Maryland, anywhere in this country, you ain't finding no shackles, okay? I used to collect so-called black memorabilia, and I look for shackles. I have shackles in my house. The majority are frauds because they don't exist, okay? There are no slave shackles all in the daggone dirt when people farm. I talk to farmers. I know farmers. Farmers are in my family. There are no shackles. They find horseshoes and they find arrowheads by the ton, okay? That's what they find. And the most recent thing you find in the
find no
soil,
pictures of nobody with their back whipped up.
that's
All
the
you find is
history.
Peter.
Can I add on?
You know,
to
all
that?
you find is that one dude, and he was a circus performer. They took him worldwide, showing off his back.
Can I add on to that? And just to mention too, you can look this up right now. There was approximately 5 million American Indians enslaved. So why the fuck would they have to go to Africa? People
That's a
know.
good answer. But by the way,
How was it done? How was it done?
what you mean, how was it done? You know
I
what I
said,
mean?
how was it done?
There are records that
How okay. So tell me how you got 15 million people. Tell me how they survived a 3-month voyage across the Atlantic in wooden ships with malaria. You gotta explain. You got a lot of explaining
because
from
we grew up
bacteria,
with
human
malaria.
waste, or we go go ahead and say, oh, the white people said the African was a super slave.
Wait, you don't think Africans survived? Like, that's the question you're saying. You don't think
I'm
Africans
getting the
Reality
fuck up
is
off this
Europe
app.
was so broke they couldn't even afford what would be in today millions of dollars to go from England all the way to Africa to hire people who can't speak the language. And by the way, there's no record of African interpreters, how that work. Okay, but there's Indian interpreters. They ain't no African. Okay, they brought them over here without, first of all, without no money. Why would they go all the way out there only to have them work for 3 to 5 years? The early records show people only work 3 to 5 years. Why would you go all that way for a temporary worker? That makes no fiscal, daggone responsible sense. Okay. The other thing is, how would they survive? Because these people were nasty. They didn't know anything about germ therapy. We were washing before meals. We knew about germs. We were the advanced civilization. They were living in filth, and they had 3 plagues back to back in Europe. They were losing it. Okay. Then when they came to daggone the first colonial development in Jamestown, they were starving. They had a thing called the starving time where they were eating corpses. How they gonna bring over Africans when they can't feed themselves or survive?
I agree that happened at first.
I have a quick question, host. So, were the first Africans, did they, not Africans, Native Americans, any people who were brought over by another group of people, were there any rights involved in those group of peoples? Whether it was Native Americans, Africans, Europeans, like what were the rights, right? Like, you have the right to do this and that.
What you mean? Who dictates whose rights?
No, I'm saying, that's what I'm asking, because Iron is saying that we didn't have, people were given these certain kind of rights, right? Like, they had to work for 3 to 5 years, and it was a very set thing.
What we consider indentured servants.
That's what we can. Yes, that's what.
And then Virginia ended chattel slavery in like 1705.
Yes, so, and I think what I'm talking about is more so of that fine line between indentured servitude and slavery.
What's the fine line?
Let me also say this: the governor, the governor of Virginia, his name in 1708, after what the host mentioned, the end of chattel slavery. His name was Edmund. You can look it up. Edmund Jennings. He was the acting governor. He made a statement about slavery, and he said no Negroes be brought upon these shores except they be from Barbados. He said that there be no Negro ships in this country. And the caveat to the Barbados thing is that that's where they took our prisoners of war. So essentially, they were just bringing back prisoners of war that were Indians. Okay, that's the thing. So no, you got to understand that when the governor of Virginia is saying there's been no Negroes brought here to this country, come on, that's your best primary source. He had no reason to lie at that time and in that date.
For sure.
But who's
And
Barbados colonized by?
the,
Like, even now,
the
Barbados, who is
English.
the majority population in Barbados right now? Ethnic group.
On there, like I have, they say they're American Indians.
I know that that's not what they say. I know that's not what they say. Just like Jamaicans don't say.
They even have powwows. They say they have American Indian blood. I went to museums and everything. One was like, yeah, we have American Indian blood. I was like, yeah, I'm American Indian. So there, So yeah, no, they definitely do claim it. I wouldn't lie about that. You can just look it up. It's not something. Why would I make it up?
Question: where was the Stono Rebellion, by the way? If
South
Virginia,
Carolina. South Carolina.
Okay.
So if they called themselves Negro, according to the 1740 Negro Act in South Carolina, they were Berber stock.
They were Berber stock.
Yes, that's the law. That's literally the Negro law in South Carolina, 1740. Anybody classified as a Negro was of ancient Berber stock. They're Berbers. They're literally in the 1740 South Carolina Act. During this is the same time the Stoner Rebellion is going on.
Fair enough, man. I'm trying to get
Also, I
on.
heard Macon's Rebellion first.
Bacon's Rebellion is 1630 is in the 1630, 1640s. Stoner Rebellion, which leads up to the Treaty of Middle Plantation, which one of my ancestors on.
Can you explain the Macon Rebellion? I know about the Macon Rebellion, but I feel like we're saying a lot of things and nobody knows what they are.
I know what I am. You're talking Lyra's literally the chieftains of the Accomack.
No, I'm saying like comment, like this, like the public.
What are you struggling with? What are you questioning exactly?
So I just had a question. I'm sorry. What I was trying to get at, I guess, if chattel slavery was over in 1705, if chattel slavery was over in Virginia, why was the Nat Turner Rebellion? Why was that a rebellion? If chattel slavery was done with, why was there an 1831 rebellion?
Okay. Look at this. There were people that was caught up still in indentureship, right? And the Nat Turner Rebellion wasn't a Nat Turner Rebellion. The Nat Turner Rebellion was an Indian war because Nat Turner was an Indian. Okay.
Yep.
And so why they call it a Nat Turner Rebellion is because they're trying to cover up that these Indians, how they looked and what they were and everything. It's like they're trying to tell the truth. But if you think about the period of time, the Nat Turner Rebellion is, first of all, he was turning 31. That was a time when if you did an indentureship, that was the age, if you had an age limit one, like 31. And so a lot of people were probably turning 31. They were trying to turn them into like, look, this is, you're going to still be a slave, stuff like that. That's one trigger. The other thing that happened with this so-called Indian War, if you look at the time of it, it predates the Indian Removal Act. So, see, everybody talks about the Trail of Tears in the Indian Removal Act, but they don't realize that it was wars after war after war that actually set this off. And the Nat Turner Indian War was a trigger for the Indian Removal Act.
The Nat Turner Indian War, or the Nat Turner Rebellion?
Nat Turner was a
Turner Indian War.
Wait.
Right, that's Matt Kingdom. Yeah. He was no. Matt Turner was a Sheranock Indian. They found him on the goddamn reservation when they caught him up. Yeah, you can ask the Sheranock yourself.
I think what she said was what kind of like got me was the Nat Turner Indian War.
Yes, it was Indian War.
He was an Indian. It was an Indian War. It wasn't just a rebellion. It was an Indian War. See, because they had made so much motion and trying to declassify us and demystify our history, they can't teach it as an Indian War because at that point, the Negro is the Indian, even though they're trying to make that go away.
Do you know about the noble hostage system, brother? Where you had to give up your children to the colonizers for a period of time?
Wait a second. I think
What's up, Crystal?
about the Nat Turner Rebellion and the Nat Turner Indian War.
Yes, Nat Turner Rebellion is the Indian War because he's an Indian. Like he's found on the Sharonaka Reservation when they found him to lock him up and go to trial.
Yeah, but there was so much more to that than just like race, right?
What?
It's about regarding land, brother. They were taking people's land in Southampton.
Oh, like race and this and this and that. No, it was about like us taking back rights. It was about us putting ourselves in the streets and making ourselves vulnerable. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot more than just about like that.
The Indians got fed up with people trying to take their land and they fought back. That's really what it's about. Like, what are you talking about?
Where my question comes in is where the Indians come in, because I've never learned
The
about.
Sharonaka is the
Sharonaka.
They were in Southampton. They were in Southampton. The Sharonaka are in Southampton, Virginia. They were there. Nat
They don't
Turner.
teach you
Nat,
that the Negro
yeah,
is
I was
the
about to say.
American Indian.
And it ain't not somebody say this is small hat doctrine. There ain't no small hat teaching you this, right?
Exactly.
The
It's not
Sharonaka.
no
Oh no,
small
one
hat.
second. The Sharonaka who are in Southampton today, still. Nat Turner's mother is on the Sharonaka census record. His mother, Nancy Turner, is on the Sharonaka Indian census.
Yeah, man, just follow the surname.
Follow that. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I think I've talked about more about like regular like education when you're in high school, right? Where it's like for me, especially for me, right? I seen a Nat Turner book on the pedestal, right? I seen a Nat Turner book and I'm like, who is that? Who is Nat Turner, right? And so it's like when you don't know who that is, and it's like this disconnection, right? But for me, Nat Turner is somebody who you know who instigated a rebellion. But this Indian concept, I have never heard of that in any of my education at all.
NDAs. Tribes had to sign NDAs with the government. They couldn't talk about certain things, and this is probably one of them.
Because they miseducated you, and because everybody's under like he said, they're under a contract. They subjugate themselves to the government. Except we don't subjugate ourselves to the government, but everybody has subjugated themselves to the government. They went under, they took deals, they getting grant money, and they're not getting much. They're not getting much, and they're losing all their rights and their freedom. Because when you let your oppressor be your dictator, that's what happens. But the educational system and the entire planet has conspired to conceal the American Indians and who they are. Why? Because this is the wealth of the planet. Because everybody eats off our plate. Because everybody was here during the Revolutionary War to take this over. The Revolutionary War wasn't because of tea. Ain't nobody want no tea. Do they drink tea in Boston? I don't think so. They drink beer. If they had taught me it was about beer, I'd have believed it. I'd be like, oh yeah, they fighting about beer. That makes sense. No, they didn't fight about beer. They fought about tea. That don't make no sense. So that alone should tell you what it really was it was to get the Indians all divided and thinking that they were fighting each other. We all took sides. Some of us were sticking with England. Some of us stuck with the new people, the new United States people, right? But because of it, that's how they jacked us up, because it allowed all these ships from all over the planet to come on our shores, and we weren't alerted by it because we thought they're fighting them, not us.
Wait, Laren,
We didn't know they were coming for us.
Are new
They're coming
United
for
States people?
our territory.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to clarify. What are you? What are new United States people?
Those people that England brought over that didn't want to leave, and they claimed that they were fighting England. Those new United States people that are still here today. Okay, those people. Okay, you know, in the Revolutionary War. So some people were considered loyalists, and that's in my personal family history. My personal family history is how I realized everything was because of all the revolutionary soldiers in my family. And because there's so many of them, some of them were loyalists. Some of them sided with England. So these people are the people that, when I speak of the Accomacs being sent to Africa, to Sierra Leone, that's the ones. Because England said, oh, so sorry, we lost. So sorry, that means you lost. That means you ain't safe here. That means you might want to leave. that means we think you should leave. That means you. And so first they said, oh, why don't you go up to your area in Sierra Leone? So we in Sierra Leone. They're like, no, we're gonna show you some other place. We're gonna take you on a trip and show you this other thing that we got going on. They took them to Sierra Leone. They didn't even know where they were going. And when we got there, they were killing us. And those Africans were killing us. So this I know from my family, and this I've connected with real life people, because the people in Nova Scotia contacted me and they said, we're your family. We were disconnected from you. We're up here. We have the same surnames. We are the same people. So when I'm missing a Francis in my family tree, those Francises, I found them up there in Nova Scotia. So this is real history. It ain't a joke.
Facts.
So another question. I consider the DMV a very black area. Again, PG County is a good example of that. Why in places like PG County isn't the Indian aspect taught in African American studies, which is normally taught by black teachers?
They don't even teach it. They only have stuff about Algonquins in the Smithsonian that's in the DMV area. They don't. The Piscataway literally have a township in PG County.
Right, you're right. Even in the yeah, that's right. But yeah, and they don't teach it. Why? Because they don't want us to know that we're the landlords, right? Yep. They don't want that to be a known thing, and that's why they keep you chasing after Africa. Because if you keep chasing after Africa, you won't know what you have here. But you have everything here. You have rights here. They can't lock us up like they do. All this stuff is illegal. Everything they're doing, but so many people compromise. That's why we have no power. And I have several Acamacs that are actually used to be
Jonathan, lady speaking.
And they were down there. My Acamac that I didn't know, right? He's one of the Acamacs. He's in Tennessee, but he's one of us. He came to my summit and he was like looking all cross, and he didn't want to hear this. He like Africa. He taught at Hampton. He went to school at Hampton. This man is a professor of African studies. He was looking with his arms folded, but guess what? When he started listening, all of a sudden his arms are folded. By the next year he came, he was like, "Hey, cousin," and he's fully enrolled. So no, yeah, when you're not taught it, you just don't know.
When people come in here, and they
what's up, Byron?
What's up? How you doing? It's good to see you, Darvid. My apology, I haven't talked to you for a while.
It's fine.
Been busy. I started a new position at work. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. People a lot of times come in here and they take the stance of, well, why wasn't this in my history book? And book, do you think that we would be in this room right now? So that's the reason why we are in this room, to let people know that the history books don't teach this, and we're now reclaiming our heritage of who we are. The reason why it's not in your history book, because if it was, then you wouldn't be in the position you're in right now. You would have this information. So it's best not to say, how come this isn't in my book? It's not in your book, because if it was in your book, there would be no point for us to be here. You would know who you were. We would have known who we have always been.
For sure. Thank you, Byron.
Darn everybody, y'all have a blessed one, man. I'm about to go take a little demystification ceremony. That's what these Pan-Africans need to know how to do. But yeah, man, y'all have a good one, man. Y'all get in y'all books, man. Y'all be asking questions. Like, my thing is, Darvid is here to educate, bro. If you don't know shit, go do some research. That's all it is. If you want to learn more, just ask him for sources, bro. Don't be scared to even ask me for sources. All right, anyway, y'all have a blessed evening now.
All right, man. See you, Poochie.
Everybody be safe. Darvid, like I said, man, I disagree with a lot of stuff, but man, I do love the debate, and I love the respect of this panel, man.
For sure. Demystify. Appreciate it. Demystify your bonds. We got natural tussle ceremonies. We gotta do that every day, if not weekly. Demystify tussle ceremony. Let's bring back the tussle ceremonies. She's like all demystification. Sheesh. So these Pan Africans need to demystify. They ain't listen to grandma, so they ain't get the real hoodoo recipes. You feel me? Grandma lied, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you not speaking? My
No, I'm
man.
just
Does anybody wants to come up and answer the prompt? I guess all the natives left. So when somebody I saw somebody in the comments earlier, like, don't go up there, natives. They're gonna just mute us. What's up, Brownie? This all they're gonna do is mute us. Let's get out of here. Let's go harass some other webbos. That's how they was talking, sounding like.
It's always the ones that's west of the Mississippi.
Like, what's up, Rodney? Thank you for the follow. Loco want that work. What's up, Keo? Where Loco at? What's
You
up?
what it do? Shit, man. I was on one of these spaces, these little lives in one of
Hey,
these
Tiffany.
with them damn with some Native Americans or whatever. They were trying to run down folks. And so I went on the stage, you know me. I went on the stage to see what they was talking about because they was going back and forth with people about black and all the same dumbass conversation. And there's some guy named Gullah, right? Gullah something. And and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a descendant of the Seminole Nation, and y'all are African, and this, that, and third." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
He was on here, I think. I think he was on my panel once.
You talking about Dean?
yeah, this guy, and so
Hey,
this guy,
Phoenix.
he's like, "Yeah, what tribe you in?" And the thing is, when people start asking me them questions, I really don't even want to answer them. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
CO.
it ain't none of your business, really. Like, but. So I said what my tribe was. So, people want to do a background and all of this, yada, yada, yada. He was like, well, I ain't never heard of that tribe. I really don't care if you never heard of my tribe. He was like, but you can speak your language. So I spoke the language instantly. Next thing you know, deflect. Well, there's people who speak the language and ain't really of the tribe. I was like, well, why would I speak the language if I ain't in my tribe? Yeah.
Right.
Why? Literally. But he was able to tell the language, which is interesting, right? And he was like, "Oh, well, are you saying you're Chickahominy or Powhatan?" I said, "No, I didn't say I was Chickahominy or Powhatan. I speak an Algonquin language because come from an Algonquin speaking tribe. So yeah, my language is shared with many other tribes in the Algonquin family along the East Coast, Shinnecox, all types of shit. We speak the same language." He was like, "Oh
Yeah.
well." I was like, "Well, after that, I shouldn't have to say anything the hell else. There ain't nothing else to prove past that." But I feel like he's one of these coon dudes. Like
I think
he's a
he's been on this
descendant of
panel
a
before.
freedman, trying to prove, but black people weren't here, and I was like, "What? Black people didn't exist until the 1600s, so it don't even matter past that." It's
Was you said you can open your camera, can you? But yeah, what's up, Phoenix?
Oh, see ya. What's happening? Everything healthy? How y'all doing?
What up, Phoenix?
Kayuk, Osio, Wengapo. Good. Wengapo. What's some other ones? Hey, because that's Lenape for hello.
Fago.
Uh, yep.
That's
What
Mohawk.
else? Mohawk.
We say
Uh,
Kayuk.
Kayuk. Yama. That's yeah, I'm not Ishla. Ishla. That's Mobilian. Uh,
Oh.
Kalito. Yep. Go ahead. What is this? Kingdom? You showing yourself? Oh, he's showing himself. Like, I don't know if you're gonna get the big screen unless you're showing the source. But when it comes to faces, I'm gonna be always gonna be the top screen. Gonna be the top screen. You feel me? But yeah, we just chopping it up. Are American Indians still a native culture?
Because
Are American Indians still a native culture?
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I asked him. This one guy, this one Mexican was stumbling. Netapu. Uh, this one Mexican was struggling. I asked him name like 5 Native American foods, 5 Native American restaurants. It's like,
They don't have no restaurants. You'll never get a reservation.
yeah, let's get the likes up, y'all. Let's get the 45,000 likes. Let's get the shares up too. Let's get back to 100 people in here. Where the natives go? We're looking for the natives. They had all the smoke earlier. Where the natives at? If you in here, pop out.
They might even
Where the
might
natives
respond if
at?
you call them Nazi Voos, cousin, because natives means that they would have had to been on our side of the United States prior to the United States being there, and I don't think they have that documentation, that proof, any of the history. I don't think they have any of the shared history.
Wow. Dang, all the opposite left. All the opposite left. And they said we don't want to be the ops no more. They were talking about this one lady was like I got one of them up there. She was a Latina, a Mexican woman, which I guess she didn't want to speak. Uh, what's up? Where the ops? Where the Native Americans at? Where OHF at? O5 ain't coming through here. Why I say that? Why did I say that? Where the O5 ain't coming in here? What's up? Who all? Let me see who's all in here. Let me shout out who's in here real quick. We got a bunch of people still. What's up? I already said what's up, Chris. What's up, OG? Plant Feds, Channel Raw, All American, CJ. I saw C3 earlier, Chris, Karan, Bodacious, Suzik, Copper Boys, TikTokian. We got Sonya. Oh, TikTok is on the stage, ain't he? What's up, Left Footed? Shout out to everybody that's in here. We keeping it musty free, right? No must today. Nagual, KJ, Amara still in here. We still got Keo up in here. I came in peace. Not your business. Cosmo in here. We got Bia in here. Golly, it's a lot of y'all. I'm gonna have to stop eventually. Oh, what's up, April? All right, cool. I think that's it. Well, it's not it. What's up, Cedar? Get that fussy ready. Get that fussy ready. What's up, Crystal? Great live. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I guess a Caribbean woman left us. She's like it's getting too xenophobic in here. I was like, it wasn't even nothing xenophobic that she said. But what's up, Crystal?
Hey, I've been calling them Ottomans.
The Ottomans. Yeah, the Ottomans.
The Ottomans, the Berbers and the Ottomans. That's what I've been calling them. The coleslaw here. They from the Cabbage Patch, so they made coleslaw with them, you know. And then from the Nabisco Cookie Company, no, the Nabisco Cabbage Patch Company. You know, I had to make up a new name for it. Nabisco Cabbage Patch.
The Nabisco Cabbage Patch. So they the Moors. The Moors.
Last cause, yeah.
Yeah, they the last cars, the Moors. God damn it. The Moors and took over Mexico. That's why that's why Mexico belongs to the Moritanian races, brother. We got a Pablo in here. What's up, Pablo?
Yardigans.
Yeah, the backyardigans. Yeah, he ain't had no profile picture, so he might just be
Escobar.
one.
He Escobar or the Backyardigans?
I'm trying to see. It was mostly Mexicans in here saying that we trying to steal native culture. I'm trying to see how we doing that.
That's impossible.
That's impossible. What do we even do?
They got a cornbread recipe. How they make their grits?
Mm.
They not the fish and grits people. East of the west of the Mississippi. How? The corn grew here and it flew there.
Oh, we had a
Teach us about some cactus recipes. I'm willing to listen.
right. What's up, highly favored? What you
So,
got, Crystal?
hey, yo, hee. Now y'all got one of them recipes for some of that tea? Send it to me in my inbox, okay? Tell me where I can go get the cat and half from. Thank you. Other than that, you can't tell me nothing about no food. But this right here is they mammy. They I'm here grandmammy. They're your mammy right there from the 1880s. They're your mammy. Your mammy. Okay. Like from the movie, Gone with the Wind, with Scarlett
You said,
O'Hara. Yeah, that's what they meant right there.
I don't know South American. Oh, Jesus said, I don't know any Mexican chicken sauce. They got oxtail and cabbage recipe. What's up? Thank you for the follow, Tony She. Thank you for the likes. I'm highly. Let's get to 50K likes, y'all. 50,000 likes. How long we been on here? 2 hours. Nice, nice. If not, I do not want their culture. If not, I do not want their culture. I'm gonna ask them like, what's the prominence of their culture that we do around the world? They're like, I don't know. So how we still in their culture?
You making sombreros and stuff on the side, cousin?
The hell is black making sombreros?
They making sombreros. We trying to steal their culture. We niggas.
Nah, I ain't making no sombreros. Hell no. Mm-mm. Only thing we making is tacos, and we ain't making it like that.
I just watched a show about Mexican, the ganaches or ganaras or whatever those things, they take the corn and pound it up, right? And
I
then
know.
fry it in the lard, right? And every one of that, all that stuff,
What? Listen, the gospel? Hello? Is it Sunday?
No seed. All that stuff they grinded up and it still looked plain.
They want their sweet potatoes empanadas back. Yep. They want that. Wow. Why can't happen? Give us our culture back. Even though we can't get the culture that you stole. Give it back. Give it back. You pretend you Rambo. So we got Carlito in here. What's up, Carlito? Dang, where the ops at? Where Big Back at? What's up, Min Howard? Well, I keep doing that, trying to look at who's in here. Yeah, keep like, let's get up. Yeah, we almost at 50K likes, y'all. We almost at 50K likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the shares. What y'all got going on this weekend? This ain't much smoke right now. What y'all got going on?
Laid back. I'm not doing much of anything. It's still cold and rainy here in New York, in Pominock, in Montauk territory. I'm over it. It's snowed up state. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Man, it's been raining here. I'm on spring break, so I got a whole week off. Oh, a whole week in a day.
Record breaking hot.
We be down there next week, cuz.
When?
Hey, so y'all want to go meet and go see Papa?
Thursday morning.
Can y'all hear me? Y'all want to go see Papa in Jamestown?
Are y'all gonna be in Virginia Thursday?
I'm coming to Virginia. I'm going to
B&B.
Are you mean to? Okay, I can be if y'all. Yeah, I can come down and see y'all. Yeah, it's late because Easter's late as hell. That's why it's spring break.
Easter on 420. They want to see if who's the highest, Jesus or me, because I'm gonna be.
Facts.
So hello to
Gonna
somebody.
find out who the Most High is.
What's up, Chris? What you saying?
Because I'm going to go see Papa and Jamestown. Y'all know who Papa is. I'm going to go see Chief Pahat in Jamestown. Where y'all going?
She said that.
Going that far. We got a couple of other. We got our biannual caucus and a couple other things to attend to.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And if I do, I got to go to Norfolk and go check on my cousin for her birthday.
Yeah, let me know if you're in DC or Alexandria or in PG. I'll come out.
Yeah, absolutely gonna be in DC.
All right,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, all right. In Alexandria, all right, bet. I'll come through.
Yeah, we're going to go to Williamsburg, Jamestown, to the museum.
Oh my.
7 and 8.
I'm gonna go to the National Archives anyway this week. So. All right, bet. Yeah, I'll meet y'all down there.
It's go like that. I was a couple of years ago. I was free like that. Like free like that no more.
It's the only time I got free, really, until June.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go places. I just got a baby.
What's up, Sister Moon? Yeah, he said, "It's like, what the hell, spring break in April?" Yeah, it's been like that since it's like Maryland likes doing their school time, their spring breaks when Easter's going on. So the week before Easter or the week of Easter. What's going on with shit? We just chopping it up right now. All the ops gone. All the ops are gone. They want no more smoke. Oh yeah, y'all different out there. I know. I mean, I know college. College. When I was in college, our spring break would be in March. So, oh man. Does anybody believe so? Does anybody believe the panel? Believe the question at hand? Are American Indians still a native culture? The We Was crowd is gone. The We Was crowd is gone. We was, we was kings. we, we was kings. We was Indians. We was natives. That's how they be sounding. We wasery. These Egyptians. The We Was crowd is gone, man.
We was we
Yeah.
shit. Hilarious.
They be mad because I'm sorry.
That's funny though. Dumbass.
Niggas don't do genealogy at the end of the day. That's what it is. Niggas who don't do genealogy. Nobody can tell you what their great grandparents was. You know what I mean? That's really all it is.
We got that EBAs everywhere but Africa's. The EBAs.
Right.
I gotta tweet that on Twitter. I was like, God damn, there are EBAs on. You got EBAs out here everywhere but Africa. People.
Yo, let me tell you. So I was working on some genealogy, right? And I'm thinking, you know what? Let me find this African in my genealogy. Everybody say I got one and stuff. Not nobody in my family, but you know, everybody else like on TikTok, they like to say that you got an African in your. So I was like, you know, I need to find this African. I've been
Come up,
looking
Milo.
for so many years, right? But I said, you know what? I am 1/4 Caribbean. So if there's gonna be an African, there gotta be an African with one of those Caribbean lines I got. Let's just say I got back 1625 and didn't find an African on the Caribbean line.
God damn. Wow.
What I found was actually very interesting, but that's a whole other conversation.
Like 0-0. You coming up, Milo? Oh yeah, I got my next topic tomorrow. I got actually with Wabos next. Are we Wabos? Oh, you got that Wabo? What's up, Ish? Stop saying our culture, Wabo. Peace. What's up? Who is this? Sidonia. What's up, Sidonia? Any what's up? What's the chat doing? What y'all doing in the chat? Sister Moon saying smirks. What's up? Come up here. Come on up. Come up here. Wabos. Wabos.
Unidentified native objects.
What's up, Engine Radio? Yeah, come call us Wabos with your mic on.
Next one should be, do Native Americans steal comic book characters to hide their true identities?
Oh, 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 that's crazy. I had to get my nana and mom information. They said she was native. Okay. All right, yeah, I was working on see this. So jealous. What we jealous of? Or who's jealous of who? Who's jealous of who, Jalen? Absolutely. Not Wabos or Abos. Wabo, Abo, you got them Abo. Excuse me. I can't believe I made 10 videos using this goddamn voice. Somebody left. What's up, Airwalk? Get on stage. Don't be a little girl. Don't be a little sissy. Don't be a little sissy.
Why them natives don't got no land patents?
Uh-oh. Say what? Not
Why
the
is it
stealing
all
part you said.
these? Why is it all these natives from below the border trying to have these
And you know, I
conversations?
think we only assuming that. We don't know where these niggas at. These niggas be in New Jersey acting like they've been here the longest. They're not even a part of none of these tribes. That's why they hide behind little cartoon avatars and scream Wabbo at the top of their lungs with their little short ass hands, stubby fingers.
Take a DNA test, Wabo. That's them behind the goddamn keyboard. With an anime profile picture,
Land patent
cartoon profile.
equal thieves. Okay, so the United States is just in the business of certifying copies to thieves or bloodline kin.
Uh-oh.
Jalen wouldn't know nothing about it because you don't got no land patents. Takes
Uh-oh.
one to know one, and you ain't got none.
What's up,
Y'all
Venus?
got reservations. Y'all have regulated activities.
Hi. Hi. You can come up here, Venus. We just chilling. Krista, what you listening to?
Oh,
These R&B.
hmm What's up, Venus? How you doing?
Doing my genealogy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm stuck on multiple parts of my tree, but it's fine.
Yes,
You from
man.
the Bay, Venus?
I was born in Antioch.
Oh, okay, I live in the Rich.
I live in New Orleans right now.
Out to that.
She went back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and Venus related on the line, on the Holloman line.
5 land allotments in 2 states. Lion sack of shiznnizzle.
Land patterns equals true heirs. Okay.
But you on a reservation, worried about what we doing. Go sit down.
I got a ground pool mansion and documented horse property. Ten Dude said he's in the Bay too. Okay. Conservatina.
Shout
Uh-oh.
out to
What's up?
Ground pool.
In the bazaar. What you say yes to? What you
Okay.
say into bazaar? Uh-oh. Into the bazaar. Come on up here. What you say yes to? Uh-oh. Is that
Oh, shit. They stole their dances from China and Siberia. They ain't make the blues. Y'all ain't the ones they talking about. Wasn't y'all?
you gonna come up here into the bazaar? You say yes to the question, or what you say yes to? We got everything pseudos want. Nah. Oh, you said nah? Okay. We got everything. Come up here, Jalen. What you scared for?
Americans aren't known for anything. Y'all don't got no Michael Jackson or Beyonce or nothing. Y'all don't got no Aaliyah.
Outstanding athletes, no outstanding academics. Nothing, ain't invent shit. Nothing.
Wait, you said the Native Americans don't have anything? I'm confused. I'm so confused.
Have anything that I want. That's what
I mean, how would you know about what they're doing on their reservations if you're not on the reservation?
How would they know about what we did in antiquity and they not from the same place?
I don't think they're making the same claims we are.
I don't care what claims they making. They making false claims thinking that we want some shit that they have when they don't have what we have. How about that? You clear on that?
What's up, Gemini?
There's nothing to want on that end.
Hey,
So
Mia.
why do they feel so threatened?
Oh,
How
my.
does the American Indian in us hurt the Native American in them? It doesn't. But somehow they have some superiority complex to where they think we desire to live in those conditions of being federally regulated.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Not true.
they all the way in West Bumblefuck. Talking about we stealing from them. Like you're in West Bumblefuck. Like, yo, you Navajo and Apache worrying about some goddamn Accomack and Pamunkey descendants. Like what?
Host, I'm kind of confused. Are you Native American or are you not Native
I'm an
American?
American
Native
Indian.
American.
I'm an American Indian or an American. Simple as that.
And you have Native American background.
No, I have American Indian background.
American Indian background.
Earlier, did
I'm
he bring
sorry,
up
that means
hold on? Earlier, did he bring up reservations? Like that's a good thing?
Ladies, calm
Hold
down,
on.
calm down. I'll shake
Can
my
you not
Doing
dreads.
interrupt
Relax,
me? Can you not interrupt me? Can you hush?
relax. I'll shake my dreads.
Can
Calm
you
down.
hush?
Man, all right, who are you, dude?
Hey, man, relax, relax.
All right, get off the
Oh
face.
yeah, so I was saying earlier, was he bringing up reservations? Like that's a good thing?
Who?
Because I could have sworn
Nobody's
Kingdom?
supposed to be
the Native
jealous of
Americans,
reservations.
they said, oh, our people were sent to reservations and kicked off our homelands, but they always brag about being on the reservation, so it's not adding up.
Right. And their
But
homelands have nothing to do with the 13 colonies or any antiquity. They taught they 1870, 1860s people. They're not
yep.
1660. They're not 1610 people.
Right, but what were you saying, Kingdom? American Indians and Native what?
I feel like the point has moved so much further than that, but
You never knew what we thought in the beginning because you never asked us.
I mean, I guess I'll ask you because I've forgotten about the first point. I'm more focused on what we're talking about now, but I definitely will go back to the first point.
I'm an American Indian, and people are saying we're still in Native culture.
No, I definitely want to address that because what I think I said Native American.
Yeah, and we're not Native American.
I'm not Native American, or you're not Native American.
I'm not Native American. I don't know what you are
either.
Wait, so what does that mean then? I'm confused. What does that mean?
I'm not a YT person that called themselves Native American in 1840.
Right.
No, that's yeah. Of course,
YT
that's
people were the
not what
first
I mean.
people to call
I'm
themselves
not a
natives.
foreigner that got here just a little while before the establishment of the U.S. Constitution. The white folks that was here think they was here first before the rest of them. The ones that's actually on paper before the natives. Ain't that something?
Yeah, white people are the first people to call themselves natives, Native Americans in America, Native Americans in 1840. The No Nothing Party. Then they gave that to them.
I know that 100%, but I mean, I think I want more of like, not necessarily more, but like, I mean, I know what that means, but I want to hear more from like who that's actually from.
Who that's actually from is YT people.
No, I mean like the what they're describing, who that's actually
Go
from.
look at the etymology. Go look at the word origin. A natural born serf or denizen. A denizen is someone that could be born somewhere and could be a citizen, but not of the same ethnicity. Natural born serf or slave.
Ooh. So yeah, I ain't them. But the law says I'm Indian. That means I'm from here. The first
No
here.
treaty that says anything about Native Americans. Not one.
Someone said Native Americans are what they call indigenous people. No, because in older records and stuff, in legal records and stuff, I saw that they call people from India over there in that country, they call them East Indians, and they call people that are indigenous to the Americas, they call them Indians. They called us Indians, they called them East Indians.
Yep.
That's how it is in all the legal records. So they did not call them Native Americans. So
Nope, not at all. Not till the 1900s.
No, yeah, I definitely call Native Indians Native Americans, and I definitely want to be like on the right term where that lies.
You can call them if they want to be called Native Americans. You can call them that. That's don't call us that.
Indians are Native American. Well, I'm confused. Indians are Native Americans.
Let me put it this way. American Indians can be Native Americans, but not every Native American is an American Indian.
Yep, she took the words out of my mouth.
This point, the current legal definition, if you look in the United States Code, natives are the Alaskan tribes, right? Because out of all 575 federally recognized tribes, over 229 of them are just from Alaska. And those Alaskan people that could not meet blood quantum and couldn't do DNA and couldn't do genealogy, they just got accepted as natives. Alaska natives. So the term Native American would apply to them. People that are not from here, but been here for a while and have attachment to the civics and polity. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but doesn't Native mean like you're born here, you're from here, your family is from here, and that's what
No, not your family. That does not determine your nationality, does not determine your ethnicity.
Why
A
would
man from
Native?
China, a woman from China could come here tomorrow and be a U.S. citizen. They still Chinese.
Yeah, but I don't think U.S. citizen and Native mean the same thing.
They absolutely do. A natural born serf or denizen. Native does not, and even indigenous ain't really the best word. You came with nothing. Break down those words.
Right.
You came here with nothing. We're from here. I like Aboriginal better than I like indigenous.
By the way,
Yep.
Native Americans are U.S. citizens. By the way,
And they were just somebody was just tweeting about how Native Americans are getting detained by ICE and stuff, deported. So
The nefarious things that they was doing. That's why they get on this app and yell at us, but they part of their sex trafficking, missing indigenous women and children. That is them. Nobody can't get on no reservation and harm none of their women. They disappear on the land, on the reservation.
I would disagree with Phoenix on that point 100%, 1,000%.
Okay.
Because you're saying something about a reservation, and are you Native American?
Yeah, I'm saying something about Native Americans and missing and indigenous women and children. And I'm saying, and I can stand on it, right? Hear me out. I can stand on it. You, non part of that tribe, can't get on that reservation. How are the women missing? Unless they're leaving the reservation and things are happening to them, no outsiders are going on their reservation doing anything to women and children. It's an inside job.
So what if they leave the reservation?
If they leave in the reservation, then the feds would get involved. But since they are the ones that have this organization,
what if they leave the
if they
reservation
leave the
on their own
reservation and something happens to them, it is a federal issue. But these niggas got issues on the reservations where people are missing and dying that don't leave. They get killed. unalived. What are you talking about? You want to
Drop the
make an
first in the chat,
excuse?
y'all.
Please show me how people outside of those nations have access to the people on those reservations. How? They have their own police, they have their own fire departments, their
Well,
own military, and access to the federal government. Tell me
right,
who's hurting them.
right. Well, I've talked about historically, right? The government has never cared about any kind of reservation. It doesn't matter if they're in America or Canada, or even the Canadian government doesn't care about reservations. I literally listened to a poem where the person is talking about how they have never been addressed by when they had diseases. The Canadian reservation sent them a box, not of antibiotics, they sent them a first aid box, right? So when we're talking about reservations, yes, I know about reservations, and I don't want to let that image be construed.
Okay, so how did your diatribe negate the fact that nobody has access to people on those reservations except the people that are from there and on there? Henceforth, they're missing women and children problem that they have. And
Oh, she must have got a phone call.
let's talk about how they got absorbed into the tribe and don't speak a lick of English or Spanish. Now, all of a sudden, these motherfuckers would have made up, these natives would have made up language.
So Native Americans on Native American.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You can have it after. If you want to defend the nonsense, you could do that after the fact. But they shit is made up. And I'm going to stand on the fact you don't have anything that is going to support the fact that anything that happens to those people on those reservations where the rest of the population, those sacred reservations they like bragging about and seem to think we want to live on, which they're so wrong about, those people over there that are in desperate need, dire situations, cracked out, methed out, on drugs, missing or taken, it's happening from those people, by those people.
Wait, so you're saying Native Americans are cracked out on drugs?
Most of those reservations. Do you hear what I'm saying about the reservations? I'm sticking
I
to
don't
it.
believe
You
that,
don't
though.
have to believe it. Go and see for yourself. I lived on Pachanga. I lived near Pala. You can't tell me nothing you haven't seen.
You lived
Go
on a
and see how
reservation.
they live.
You lived on a reservation and you've
Go
seen.
and see how they live. I don't want to live like that.
Okay.
Are Black Americans still in Native culture? The answer is hell to the nah.
Hell
think that's not
no. To
true.
the no. All right. It's a man on here that talks about that. Most of them are drunks because they know the truth. I mean,
If I can rebuttal to that host,
I made a comment. I'm reading the comment, but you can look up how people live on reservations. It's not a secret. It's
no,
not.
I just want to say to Phoenix that you're saying a lot of stereotypes that I don't think that I've heard about Native Americans, right? Like for me, Native Americans have never been a cracked out, just out of pocket society. No, to me, Native Americans have always had to live under another society's rule of them, right? So they're always looking at the systems, the
Sovereign
rules, the
people have to
laws.
live under somebody else's rule. Is that what you're saying?
Phoenix, I didn't interrupt you, Phoenix. Native Americans have to live under the rules, the laws, and the regulations of the American government, right? You personally don't even want to live under the laws and the rules of the American government. I personally don't want to do that either. Nobody does.
I love the law.
Okay, that's not my point.
I took an
That's not my
oath
point.
to
That's not my
uphold the
point.
law, so you wrong.
Okay, that's not my point. My point is, we all, have discretions against what the government says we need to do, quote unquote, right? And so for us to try to make a statement about a group of people who have had to live under what the government has wanted them to do under like a very, very like secured rate. You know what I'm saying? Where they have no other kind of identity outside that community they live in. Like that's very particular, right?
I'm crying.
Yeah, the Department of Justice, like if you don't believe, there's literally an article from the justice.gov, Department of Justice talks about the drug threats in Indian country.
Right, but they're not comparable to what we experience in our American economy. So I feel like
They're not
that's
comparable. They're like reservations are literally projects.
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like that's not what I'm saying.
Projects was better than reservations.
I ain't want to go there, but yeah. Uh,
So they are like projects, right?
yeah, they're like projects. Yes,
But a lot of okay, I live in Ohio. I don't know where anybody else lives.
I live in Maryland. We've already established that.
I know you live in Maryland. I'm talking about on the panel. I don't know where anybody else lives. But in Ohio, we do have a homelessness population. We do have a population that's addicted to drugs. To community of people, most of us have never even experienced being in.
I'll go to powwow and reservations, like the projects, like projects and reservations are under the same people. I've been in projects before.
All have. All of us who know what's what on the panel have been there, right? But can we compare that to American Indians?
They're not. Yeah. You
Not
can't.
to American Indians, but to Native Americans on reservations. Hell yeah. I just told you I lived on Pachanga. Yes. These rich people, $80,000, $120,000 a child, and they live like pigs. That's only for some of the people. Well, a lot of them getting kicked out the tribe now. But they getting kicked off those roles and stuff now. But
So can you say that's not for everybody?
Shinnecock Reservation is immaculate. Poospatuck Reservation is immaculate. Most of those West Coast, Midwest folks that come on here with the vitriol, the ones that spark titles like a Black American stealing, the people that's in the chat lying like we trying to steal something that isn't worth stealing, something they don't even want. And they try to block it out. And this is why they on the internet worried about who our grandmas gave some Gucci to. You make that.
Host, I also want to ask you about that. Like, where did the I guess from your inspiration, where did the like Black Americans and Native Americans culture come into play?
Whenever they linked up, you're like, when did Native? I don't even think Native Americans, right? They didn't see most of us until after the Western expansion started. Like they wanted to see most of us because most of us were in the South or along the East Coast, east of the Mississippi. Not until the late migration is when we started going to all these different places. So most of them didn't even see us until like the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s. So,
but by that point, most of them were not even a part of the like subject. By like the 1850s, the Native Americans were kind of like not a part of the Americans.
Yeah, until the 1850s. That's when they saw us mostly until the 1850s, unless they went through Canada. Pretend is gonna come up here, right?
I got some bread and peanut butter down there. You want some?
What? Who's Rebirth? What's up? Pretend is gone wild. $5 Africans gone wild. How about that? You do 23
Not $5,
kid
cousin.
band.
They're $2.50 Africans. The $5 come from the Pilgrims.
250 Africans. My bad. He's got that 250 Africans. What's your rebirth? You got a hot mic, yeah? Man, aren't Pan Africans tired of getting bullied? No, not tired of getting intellectually beat down on here. We got one drop black. Come up here, Troy. Come up here. One drop black folks. Black with y'all think y'all are clever. Y'all not even funny. No, you can never do that. You just mute. You can never do that. I don't just mute. My mods muted you. I didn't mute nobody yesterday, really. All I do is mute. Come debate us. Y'all got all the scholarship, right? Y'all the smartest people. Why y'all running? Why ain't nobody? Why y'all gotta come to our lives to be relevant? Why y'all gotta come to our lives to be relevant? Huh? Nobody gives a fuck about Pan African Babel. That's why. Nobody cares about Pan African Babel. That's why y'all struggling on TikTok. Y'all struggling on YouTube. Y'all only hope is Son Netter, and he's flip floppy, right? Y'all struggling on Twitter. It's embarrassing for y'all on Twitter. Oh my goodness. And what else? Y'all struggling on all these goddamn social media platforms because nobody want to hear y'all. Nobody wants to hear y'all shit. And it must be sad that y'all only relevance is the pretending y'all try to talk about.
Because all of it is based off of belief, emotion. Is like people tired of y'all religion. Like,
They
stand on
got it,
your
bro. Somebody
genealogy.
paying them
Stand
to
on.
troll us. 10 years ago, 7 years ago, every African that we spoke to when we killed Pan-Africanism the first time, never even heard of the slave trade. These new niggas is lying. They lying. They never heard of the slave trade over there. Now all of a sudden, everyone over here is supposed to be some slave kid missing from Africa. They lying like a rock.
Hey, well,
Yeah,
well
the biggest
sorry.
the biggest Pan African voice is Dr. Umar.
He's from
That's y'all
Cuba.
biggest
He's
voice.
from Cuba. Why he
He's
don't
from
preach that
Cuba
in Cuba?
and don't
Why
take
he
care of
come
his
to the
kids.
USA to do that?
And he don't take care of his kids either.
That's
So
what
that's
they
up.
all do. They all come to America to spread Pan
Well, how you
African.
gonna immigrate to someone else's country to invade our country and spread that nonsense? Why you ain't do that in Cuba?
But before we throw
Real
the
Africans, like
Cuban,
they say they
was he
is, where's
born in
their tribal
Cuban?
scars?
I don't
I
think he
want to
was
see
born
they
in
three
Cuba.
cuts
I
on
think
their
he has an
face.
ancestor that's from Cuba. I don't think he was
He
actually
said
born.
his parents or something were born in Cuba or something like that. That's what he
I
said.
think he has a grandfather that was born in Cuba, I believe.
But
But
yeah,
regardless,
But let me see your tribal scars.
I
Y'all
feel where
real
you're coming from.
Africans, let me see your tribal scars. Let's see the pictures with grandma with the $3.50s under her eye. I want to see it.
yeah, man. But yeah, bro. Like y'all, yeah, they gotta come over here and get some type of engagement. Like nobody cares about y'all Pan African lives. Nobody, literally.
Anyway, I was looking into it. It said it was not illegal for Europeans and Indians to mix, but it was illegal for Europeans and Black people to mix. And if all Black people got European DNA, but it was illegal, that's not adding up right there. That's not
That's a
adding
good
up.
find.
And
That's a
then you
good
would have been
find.
able to see if their kids were biracial. You would have been able to see them their facial features. So the Europeans should have been going to jail, right? They
You
should have
going to
been.
jail.
That's not adding up. That's not
You
adding
go.
up.
You going to jail, lock his ass up. Perfect example of literacy statement you just said. A literacy statement. Lock his ass up. Come up here, right? What you hiding for? I know y'all.
Well, what are you talking about? That's just common sense. If it was encouraged for Europeans and Indians to mix, and it was frowned upon for Europeans and Black people to mix, and all Black people have European DNA, that's not adding up. Now is it? Now is it?
Oh, you an Indian now, huh, Jalen? You ain't no Indian. Stop it. You ain't never start calling yourself Indian until folks start saying it. Sure, whatever you say. Yeah, y'all want to be Indians now, but it was just offensive not too long ago.
Would
Right.
have come up and explained to me why the Europeans weren't going to jail or being put on trees for laying down with Black people. That's what I want to know. The only explanation is that we're Indian because it was legal to do that with
Yeah,
Indians.
you ain't never been an Indian. Which one of your grandma said they was Indian, Jalen? Red can't even name his. I bet you Red can't even name his fourth great grandparents. Any of them. How much you want to bet?
I bet you $5 he can
75.
at least one fourth great grandparent. Cause
Nah.
I'm talking cash money. I'm gonna give up that
Like how much?
$5
Yeah.
for his $5 his family paid. That's
I
fair.
actually did my genealogy. Where they from? All right, bet. Name a boat they came off of. Bet. Giving
It's
me a first and last name that came off a boat.
Leon that came off in Mexico City.
Oh yeah, my four didn't come off slavery. They came from Mississippi and Georgia. No, she ain't say nowhere in Africa. Notice he ain't say nowhere in Africa. I was born Indian. That's because you said my fourth. All right, name your eighth. I done doubled it now. Name your eighth great grandparent. Ancestors are from West Africa. Yeah, name your eighth great grandparent from there. Indian. What's up, Prosper? Well, hey, Bria, how you doing? Oh, not my bad, Bria. I didn't mean to invite you. I was about to type to you. Hey, why you get quiet? I asked for the eighth great granny. I asked for the I asked for the eighth grade granny. I'm still waiting. No. See, you can't name your eighth grade grandparents. And no, I asked you a question. You can't answer it. Nope, that's not how it works. Archaeology that finds. Okay, cool. After you name your eighth grade grandparent. See, y'all like to deflect because y'all can't answer certain questions. So y'all deflect. Y'all not intellectually in depth as y'all think y'all are. It's too easy. I know that's not is absolute. No. See, name your eighth grade grandma, great grandparent. Name my eighth grade grandparent for cool. I got you. Cool, I got you.
Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Let's get cousin to 75,000.
Yeah, let's get to 75,000 likes. Cool. It doesn't take. Oh yeah, I just met. Yeah, Jenny Smith. Jenny Smith. I actually made a video about her. She was a free Indian. She was a free black woman of Indian descent. Jenny Smith, and her husband was Alexander Smith, who was the son of John of Thomas Smith or John Smith of a John Smith who blew my knife, and my tenth is the son of King Thomas Smith of the Accomack. Yep. You see how easy that was? Now it's your turn. Now it's y'all turn. Go. I just told y'all my eighth, ninth, and tenth great grandparents. Go ahead. Now it's y'all turn. No kidding. Why does it always he named himself? He's the king of the Accomack.
First of all, you mean Guinea and Africa, but the Guinea come from Italy. They come from Europe. The nappy hair come from Europe.
What?
I want to look at the map. Let me pull up the map.
Uh-oh.
You want to see the 1300s map of where Guinea is? It ain't in Africa.
If King Thomas was the king of the Accomack, what do you think he was? The chief of the Accomack? Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all can't be that dense. Y'all can't like why are y'all act so obtuse?
No, the one thing I will never say is something that I do not know is true, and I don't know what Phoenix was talking about, but yeah, that's
that's some pseudoscience
I would
shit.
rather
I'm
you
not gonna
prove
lie.
that.
Why do
than-
you think why does your
Receipt right now. Just
what do you
because you
think
don't know, don't mean it ain't so. Just take the education and grow. Okay? How about that?
why hey Troy,
Are
why
y'all
are you
like FBA?
man, shut up.
I'm not
Goddamn, I'm trying to
FBA.
speak.
I'm an American Indian. I'm a Paul Monkey Chickahominy woman. Blood and
Yes.
bone.
Like ain't nobody. They always leave the kings and queens and chiefs. Yeah, I'm from a royal lineage. Okay. Yeah, y'all say if you say y'all be talking about y'all descent from King Ramses. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all be calling yourselves descendants of King Ramses. It's like, shut up. Like,
What's wrong with being from Africa though, man?
ain't nothing wrong with being from Africa. People need the Africans, the EBAs, the everywhere but Africans, right? They need to find their own African lineage and be proud of that shit and go back. How about that?
Oh, you okay? You one of those? You
Yeah,
good?
yeah. The goddamn EBAs everywhere but Africa. Y'all, Africa needs y'all goddamn help. There's plenty of organizations you can get involved with instead of worrying about pretendians.
Africans
So
fell
what's the
asleep
difference?
in
What's the difference
Africans fell
between y'all?
asleep in Zaire and woke up
Hold
in
on.
3 other
One
countries.
second. I'm gonna give you the whole screen Spanish. There you go. All these
So what's the
That
difference
EBAs.
was funny as hell. You said
How do
between
they
y'all
I
and
went
the
to sleep
how
in
do
Pretendians?
I put the
Zaire and woke
picture
up
up,
in 3
cousin?
different countries.
At least you now. I forgot to put quotation marks after pretending, but you a fake African because y'all don't be in Africa. Y'all be building with Africans
Oh,
that are here. Hold on, yeah. Hold on,
okay.
1 second.
So
Y'all,
you're
y'all don't,
trolling.
y'all. No,
Cousin,
I ain't trolling. Go ahead. You got to finish. You ready?
put the picture up, David.
You gotta go to effects. Click on effects. You see effect enhance. Click on it. Enhance. Click on effects, and then click on the. Yeah, you can't name your 8th grade grandmother. For pretending. Y'all don't be in Africa. Like, where you from, gibberish? Hey, gibberish. Hey, gibberish, where you from? Before you,
Oh, where I'm from.
nah. Where you from, gibberish? 'Cause you, yeah, yeah. I bet you can't name your 8th grade grandparents either.
Brother, there's nothing
No, where you?
wrong with being
Are
from
you
Africa,
Somali? Are
man.
you Somali,
I'm not
gibberish?
Somalian.
Yeah, yes, you are. You're
There's
from East
nothing wrong
Africa.
with being.
You're from East
There's
Africa,
nothing
ain't you?
wrong.
You're from East Africa, ain't
There's
you?
nothing wrong.
If
When you
you're from
finish,
East, you're from. Oh yeah,
nothing wrong.
you're from East Africa, ain't you?
Nothing
Yeah, I
wrong
really feel
Hey,
like people
hey,
feel
Jibber.
there's something wrong with being
from
African.
Africa.
Yeah, you're from East Africa, right? Gibberish. I
So
know how y'all
What does
sound.
it matter though? You saying it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a
I'm
bad
but
not.
why,
thing?
Y'all not even from Africa.
Why
How
is it a
about that?
bad thing?
1 second. It's not a bad thing. Y'all not even from Africa. You're just if you're a Habesha, you're a what's that tribe called? Amharic. You're the descendant of the Aksumite Empire. You're a goddamn Yemen descent. Yeah, exactly. Y'all,
Then, brother, I'm not from
man,
Yemen.
yeah, you are from Yemen.
So
Tell me I'm not from Yemen, brother.
Yaman from
I'm
Yaman.
not from Yemen, bro. You keep muting.
You're from Yemen.
Muting me.
Yeah, I picked out he's from East Africa. You got that accent.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a secret,
why
bro.
are you
Look
calling
at my
yourself?
name.
Why are you calling yourself African? Are you Celtic? Because that's a
Uh,
Celtic name. That's a Celtic name. That's a Celtic woman's name. So I don't know why you calling
Gibberish.
yourself African. Are you
Gibberish.
Celtic? Are you Celtic?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Gibberish is a Celtic name.
Are you? You said you were African, right? Africa is a Celtic
Yeah,
name.
I come from Africa.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
there you
you're
go.
Celtic?
Are you a far? You're not a far, are you? You're not from the
No,
African people. So why you calling
no.
yourself African? You're not
Hold
mixed.
on, hold on, hold on. Why is this turning up on me? I just said there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with being from Africa.
You came up here trying to call us
Why are you
pretending.
so like angry,
You're
brother?
upset.
I
I'm
just
not
said
angry. I'm not angry. Shut up.
stop muting me then.
Like I'm not. No, I'm gonna talk to you when I
Muting me,
want. I'm
bro.
gonna talk on my stage. Shut up. How about that? Shut up. I'm gonna talk on my stage. We ain't come to see the gibberish show. We
So
didn't come.
even
We
when I go to effects, cousin, I still
all right.
don't
1 second.
never.
One sec. All right, hold on. Demetrius got damn this loud on his mic. Like y'all ain't coming. Nobody's pulling up to y'all lives. Y'all came here. Nobody's pulling up to you. We ain't come to hear y'all
There's
bad.
people exposing y'all though. Y'all fucking
There's no.
pretendians.
Man. Shut up, gibberish. You're a fake. You're a fake Ethiopian.
Plenty of lies exposing y'all.
You're not a Kush. You're not a
You're
Kushite.
not. Yeah, look at you
You're a
stuttering.
Kushite. You're
I'm
not a Kushite. So
not
you're not
upset,
from the.
buddy.
You're a colonizer. You're a colonizer, gibberish.
Come
Yeah.
on, bro.
That's why your 7 states all white
Keep
people.
muting me then,
Hold
bro.
on
You're
1
muted.
second.
Gibberish, just
Because
let
you
the host
keep.
speak. Just let the host
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
gibberish.
Just let me like shut
Yeah,
up.
go talk. I'm done.
Then stop talking while I'm talking. Right? Why all your 9 states in Ethiopia white? Huh?
No one in Ethiopia. The people from Ethiopia are not white. What are you on
yeah.
about?
Why
That
all
don't
y'all
even make
say y'all
sense.
worship white? Y'all worship white. What y'all worship white people
Have
in
you
Ethiopia?
been to Ethiopian church?
Yeah, I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you.
Yeah.
I'm about to show you.
There's
I'm about to
plenty
show
of
you.
drawings.
I'm
Get the
about to
fuck
show
out of
you
here.
right now. These your 9 saints. Oh, my bad. They ain't white. They all Arab. No, my bad.
Yeah, you see,
Cause
and now
y'all
he's
got,
changing his.
cause
It's
y'all
okay
got.
to
No,
be
never
from
mind.
Africa, bro.
Never mind. No, you're not even from Africa, sir. Why all your saints white? Huh?
So
They're
you
white and
changing it up now. You said they
they're
were
all.
Arab. You said they were white.
Yeah, because you're a
Look
goddamn
at you.
Arab. You're a
I'm
goddamn
not an
Arab.
Arab,
Look, these
bro.
your 9 saints. Look right. These the 9 saints of Ethiopia. Get the fuck out of here.
There's
Oh,
plenty of pictures where Jesus is
well, yeah,
black. You know what I'm
we
saying?
got
Like, what
many
are you
pictures.
talking about?
Why they all Arab and white, sir? Huh? Why they all
That
Arab
looks
and
like
white?
Arabs to you?
Yeah, those are goddamn Arabs.
Well, that's you, man. I mean, shit. You're not a priest. You're not a pastor. So why are we
Man,
listening to you?
why y'all got
You
that
know what
white
I'm
man
saying?
in it?
Like
Why
you and
y'all
your
got that white
feelings.
man?
Because
Why
I
y'all got
said
that
there's
white
nothing
man? Who
wrong with
brought the
being from
9 saints?
Africa.
Hold on, who
You're
brought the
Yeah,
9
so in your
there's
saints?
nothing
feelings because
wrong
I
with
said
being
one
from
man.
Africa too. What's your
Y'all are so.
problem?
Man, shut up. Why you being so why don't you have no decorum, you musty ass nigga? Huh?
Yeah. See, there you go.
You
Getting
fucking musty. Stop acting musty.
your
Let me
feelings.
I ain't in my feelings. You just fucking
I
musty. Shut the fuck up.
Stuttering again.
I'm not stuttering. I'm not
Steve trying to
stuttering.
put this picture of the
Cause you
snap
keep
up.
Loser, pretending,
yeah, you're not where are you at? Where
still
you at,
stuttering,
gibberish? Why aren't you in Ethiopia, gibberish?
still stuttering,
Why are you not in Ethiopia, gibberish?
bro. Because it's common sense. There's better opportunities here.
Yeah,
Come on, grow the fuck
why
up.
it's
Grow
better
Even
up.
call
in your own
why
country.
Like, come on. What kind of shit
what's
is
better
that?
than being hold on,
Our
what's better
country is better than your country. Just admit it.
Why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why is that an insult?
why Haley Selassie run away when the Italians was fucking y'all up?
I mean, I don't like him either. So what's your point?
You got that leader, so y'all the fuck out. Haley Selassie went over to be up under some British folks.
That's
Why
not
y'all
an
get
insult to me, bro.
that,
Why are you
yeah?
so? Why? Yeah, you see,
Why your
you're
leader
trying
so
to
spineless?
insult me.
Yeah,
Like,
you
relax.
trying to come up here and insult us.
No, I just said there's nothing wrong with
You're
being from
spineless.
Africa,
Your
man.
daddy.
That's not an insult.
Hold on. You and your daddy. You and your
There's
daddy
no
fled.
insult.
Hold on. You and your daddy fled. You're a spineless coward.
Okay, bro.
Yeah,
You're literally insulting
just like your leader Haley Selassie, spineless.
like him, bro. What are you on about?
Yeah, and you just like him fleeing.
Keep muting me, bro.
And you just like him fleeing. How about that?
Muting me, bro.
Just like him fleeing. Ain't that right, fleer? Y'all trying to come up here and troll us, and when I start trolling back, now it's you're emotional, you're this, you're
Because
that,
I'm
blah blah
not
blah.
trolling. You're making up shit.
I'm trolling out.
Trolling, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you the truth.
Keep muting me. How is that
You
not
got
trolling?
them,
Like, let me talk.
you got them Axumite descendant. You got them Axumite descendant.
How
You
is that
got
an
them.
insult?
You
How
got
is that
them
an
Yemen
insult?
because you're not from Africa.
I'm from Africa, bro.
No,
My
you're a goddamn Yemenite. Nope.
homeland is in Africa.
No, you're not.
He called you a Yemenite. That's
You
crazy
goddamn
work.
Yemenite.
Where's it coming from, bro?
Yeah, because I know East African history. I read books. You goddamn Yemenite. Now get the fuck off my stage, Yemenite. They be so mad. Poor.
Drop the link in the chat. I'm struggling trying to get the picture.
My bad. Man, I was
I didn't
supposed to
even
help
know
you.
how
I
to
got
do
the
it.
trolling. I got the trolling. I was supposed to be helping you out. You got that poor fella.
Let them feast their eyes and get mad at the map maker. Don't get mad at us.
Let me see. Let me I'm gonna have to copy this from the chat. There we go. From my computer. All right, copy. I'll share it. Yeah, goddamn Arab. That goddamn Arab trying to call us pretenders. He goddamn fled. How does that work? How you flee from the motherland? Y'all be fleeing from the motherland, quote unquote. Right? Mm. I knew he was from East Africa, just how he was speaking. But yeah, here go the map right here.
You on that map, cousin?
Let me zoom in.
And also the little family that created Angola, the Angolams, they're there too. That's the
Oh wow.
1300s map, Guinea.
1300s map of Guinea. There we go. Oh, where's that above? It's above Spain. Ain't that some shit? It's above Spain. It's not in Africa. It's above Spain. Africa's below Spain.
1300s map.
Wow. Yeah, leaving mama is crazy. I can imagine leaving your motherland for what? For a better opportunity. He just admitted the United States is better than Ethiopia. What a disgrace. What a disgrace.
What's up with this deadly uncle dude down there, man? He look Mexican number one, but he's on some funny shit. You want to come up to the stage or something? Like you seem like you got something to get off your chest,
Oh God. No, don't be on no stupid shit because I'm gonna troll you.
hombre.
I'm gonna troll you.
Funny how people that did and are doing their genealogy know who they are, but they are so gun ho on telling us who they are. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, these folks, they really don't do their genealogy, and even when they do, they ain't find no old records. Most of these folks are like 1850s. You know, find someone on a roll or something. You know what I mean? Like that's just questionable at best. At best, versus people who straight bloodlines, 1700s to straight Indian land
I'm
surveys,
back
territory,
into the
straight
1500s
bloodlines.
on
Like
my mom's
we're
side.
not like a lot of us. We're not relying on these. Oh, someone was on a roll in 1860 or 1855. Nah, our shit goes back 1600s. There's an actual story there, like a whole lineage. So it's like it's funny when they try to, play this superiority complex, but they don't have no records. They more mixed than anything else.
What's up? Oh, what's up? What's up, Mike?
Hey, brother, I didn't know if you knew that this was my backup page or not.
Yeah, I figured since I saw your website on there.
Bet. Speaking of the Africans, something that I've becoming more privy to lately is many of the cash crops that are grown in Africa present day are indigenous to the Americas. They over there harvesting corn, tobacco, the list goes on, and it's like, damn, they get online and act so disrespectful.
I'm gonna bring you up, CR. Kingdom.
Agree with you on that. Even their main dishes, right? The Nigeria, goosey soup. Every ingredient comes from America. Fufu, everything comes from the Americas. It's just prepared by Africans. That's it. But it's from here. Flew here, grew here, and flew there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know how many starving Europeans potatoes are fed, and where are potatoes indigenous to again?
Here.
Shout out to the Choctaws.
No. Shout out to our people. Them Choctaws ain't have time to walk on no Trail of Tears.
Oh yeah, Choctaw.
No
Yeah.
goddamn potatoes. Not them
All right.
folks.
The Choctaws. My bad. All right. Who are they?
Hey, this is Mike TV.
Hey, what's up, Haley?
Censorship is crazy on TikTok. What happens is I get banned for 7 days from live streaming, and then I come back and get banned again for 7 days from live streaming, and then
What
I
the
come
fuck?
back.
How you starve on an island? That's crazy. Hey, how you doing, Haley? Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. I mean, where we at with the likes? Let's get up to 100,000 likes. So what's up, Woken Gator? What's up, SR?
Hey, so Darvid, speaking of the Shatta, are you familiar with Chief Warhurst?
Yep. I've had a pleasure with speaking with her before, and then Phoenix Moon, and she's real close with her. And shout out to Urban Indian Heritage Society. They're real close with Chief Warhorse. They actually visited her when she got recognized in Louisiana.
Nice. I'm not sure if they got like a website or a blog or something. I mean, on YouTube, she has some videos, but like I'm kind of thirsting for more content from her.
Maybe Phoenix will know.
YouTube channel, and she'll actually be putting some new
Hold
content
on.
up soon.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, no, I'm
I might
subscribed to
woke
her
it.
YouTube channel. Man, I watched a video the other day of her with some pretendian named Tom Acklin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, not him talking so
He's more
reckless,
than just a pretendian.
talking so greasy, and he done started fake tribes, and he literally descends from Confederate slaveholders. Like what? It's just so sick.
Wow.
There was a lot of black folks that Tom used to create those fake tribes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, and you know what? It's interesting because that's how I got to know Chief Warhorse. From a lot of people on the internet trying to assassinate her character, steal land, and work deals with Tom, selling Negroes out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very interesting person Tom was.
And he admitted to it. Wow. Sick Tom. But yeah, you got banned for 7 days again from live streaming?
Bro,
Wow.
I'm maybe on week 3 of TikTok, and literally every time I go live, I get banned. Sometimes I appeal it, and the appeal is successful, but most of the time they just ban me for 7 days, and then I come back, and then the first stream I get banned again for 7 days. So,
Dang, them niggas hated hard, huh?
oh yeah, I mean I really come with the receipts. So we was running videos of their terrible rap videos they create on the reservations, cosplaying as us. They created a whole TV show called Res Dogs, where they were pretending to be Bloods and Crips on the reservation. I mean, it's
What the
sick.
fuck?
It's so sick. Yeah.
Wow. And they say we're trying to steal their culture.
Yeah. He was
And
rapping
then,
about greasy fry bread.
wow. And then on top of that, I know they be making them sick that you're a roll
I
too.
remember seeing
Oh my God, it makes them sick to their stomach. Wait a minute, he's talking that shit, and he's a member of a church. Oh damn.
Yeah. We don't want no fry bread.
They look at me like I'm a traitor, like I'm a sellout. How could you? You're a member of the church. You're supposed to be helping us with the lie, with the grift. Nah, buddy. I was not brought up on the res. I'm a off the res native. Miss me with that shit.
That shows the integrity that you have, honestly.
I'm just wondering how everybody on the reservation is so white, but all the Indians that I have researched through antiquity are also black.
Hmm. Oh yeah, we also have the chiefess of the Akamaki on the panel too, Myra. He's done incredible work. For those that didn't know. Dang. Oh, CEO. Oh, what's up, Celestine? Miss Celestine? Cambodia just admitted their ancestors were black. Oh yeah, shout to Vegan. Yeah, he's Cambodian. Mm-hmm. Shout to Vegan. He was in here earlier. Shout to Vegan. That's my Cambodian homie.
So the Cambodians and Laotians, they the first people I ever seen flip over a police car in Providence, Rhode Island. Back in the 90s. I love how they give it up.
Yeah, I actually shared his video. It was cool. I shared Vegan's video. He was talking about his Cambodian ancestry being melanated.
Blackwood. He says, "Wow, much respect to the respectful native." And also, you don't understand. I grew up just like you, just a regular Black American. I didn't do my genealogy and get citizenship till 2021. So, it's not until you really do the research you figure out where you come from.
For sure. For sure. Like Chief Warhorse. Yeah, we know. Yeah, Phoenix Moon is real close to Chief Warhorse. OG. I was speaking to her on Twitter. I got luxury to speak to her on Twitter.
My sister for sure.
Hey, so Darvid, who else would you recommend as far as like melanated indigenous content creators? Like I know about you, Chief Warhorse, Chief Seku, but I mean,
Yeah, Phoenix Moon up here.
Okay, wait.
We got Phoenix
So that
Moon. We
person
got
up top is
Lyra.
Phoenix Moon.
Yep, we got Lyran right here.
Okay.
Chiefess of the Akamai. Who else? Safa Karu. Tasha She. I can send you out a bunch of names. Yeah,
Wait,
Tasha She.
is Phoenix Moon also
Check out
affiliated
First
with
Tribe.
Judge Joe Brown or no?
Who?
Are you also affiliated with Judge Joe Brown?
Know each other. I admire Judge Joe Brown very much.
Oh, okay, for sure. You know, I just feel like I've heard that name, Phoenix Moon, floated around a lot in different spaces. So you must be pretty well known.
I chase down a lot of scammers, and I don't let people play games with grandma and
Respects to
grandpa.
the Chiefs on the panel and respects to Darvin for letting me come up.
For sure. Yeah, who else? Tasha She. Safa Karu. Shout out to Safa.
Ish, First Tribe Nation for sure.
First Tribe Nations. Ishmael Bay. Who else? Who else do I like? My boy Conscious Science for the Conscious Mind. Whenever he comes through, I would recommend him. He's on TikTok and on YouTube and stuff. Damien, Forbidden Heritage.
Carrie Davis,
Carrie Davis. Yeah, I spoke
the
to Carrie
indigenous
Davis on here
one.
before. The indigenous one. There's a lot of people. Yeah, somebody said Top Cats. There's a lot, honestly. We know the truth now. Okay, so people putting it in the chat. Natural, yeah, Chief Natural. How can I forget him and Natural Lisa, who just came in here? Chief Natural. Who else? Who else can I think of? Oh yeah, the Mind's Eye. Where is she at? Is she still here? The Mind's Eye. Yeah, the Mind's Eye. What? I know a bunch of people. Okay, not that I can think of off the top of my head right now, but there's a lot of us. Yeah, shout out to Core Mayo, Crystal. She might not make the most content, but she'd definitely be on the panels. The Angry Chief, Amaru, yeah, y'all drop names in the chat, y'all. In case y'all know I don't know too many TikTokers, because I'm just getting back on here.
And Callaway been putting that work for years.
Oh yeah. I actually I had some spaces with Dan Calloway. He'll pop up on me on Twitter. Dan Calloway will pop up on me on Twitter. We'll be talking to him, chopping it up. It'd be cool to get him on a live stream here. It'd be cool. What's up, The Minds? I just shouted you out. Welcome back, Chief Janice. Yeah, Chief Janice. My boy, he don't make content like that no more. But my boy Ryan, what's his name? Ryan. His name's Ryan, but
He's African now.
He's an African now.
African man. She got an African brother. She's African.
Oh, she's African. Oh no.
She's African. Somebody did her genealogy and background.
Wow.
A lot of people fooled.
Spaghetti-O.
Oh, right. What the hell?
Fooled. She came in sounding like me, and it was okay. It was okay.
Somebody said 432 drop radio. Okay. Rod Hayes. Yeah, shout out to Rod Hayes.
Odd, but I didn't know she was a boot scoop.
So damn, she's not from Georgia. Wow.
Not the boot scoop. What's a boot scoop?
What's up, Nolan? What's up, Dr. Nolan? What's going on?
Should I personally like to refer to the Africans as bush babies? I know it's a bit harsh for some, but the East Africans, I call them cousin babies.
We correct though. They from the bush. They eat bush meat, bush babies. It shouldn't be offensive.
Bush meat.
We got bush babies, we got cousin babies, and the South Africans, I call them colored babies, since they got that whole colorism identity crisis.
I just call them Arabs now. That pisses them off. It pisses them off a lot. You call them Arabs, so I just call them Arabs now. I'm about to start calling them Hindus too, since they come from India as well.
Yeah, I like pissing off Europeans and Middle Easterns by calling them Africans. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's one continent. Prove me wrong.
What'd you say, Kia?
Nah, you said you call them East Indians. I said Durka.
Yeah, they Hindus now.
They be tripping, man. But where are all these Indians, these Hispanic Indians at, man? What's
I
up
think
with?
one was just on here.
Yeah,
He like,
what's his name? He looked like a Mexican. Like I bet you he come up to the stage, he does sound like he from SoCal.
the
A
name,
Holmes, where he at? Where he at? The
yo, why?
Deadly Uncle.
Oh, the deadly. Oh,
Yeah,
The deadly uncle says, the deadly uncle is asking what res I'm from. Sir, I've never visited a reservation a day in my life. Why would I want to go to an oversized trailer park filled with poverty and famine?
well, and this is coming so that's someone that's in row. Where that dude go earlier when Phoenix was talking about what's going on the Rams? He's like, nuh-uh.
Get the Deadly Uncle up here, man.
I can't invite him.
I'm telling you, sound like a
The
Mexican.
average reservation has a over 60% poverty rate. And we're not even going to talk about the rate of them unaliving themselves after drinking too much.
Wow.
Money and supplies we was sending over to Standing Rock. What y'all talking about? Y'all ain't got
I
no
done been shit
respect.
faced many a days, and I never try to kill myself.
I'm alive.
I'm sorry, not alive.
Deadly uncle said he's not Mexican. Mm. You guys are hilarious. English is sorcery, witchcraft. Okay. Sister Moon is shocked, appalled. She's clutching her pearls right now.
I mean, if you really think about it, I guess I'd bury myself in a bottle too if I was forced onto barren land by buffalo soldiers who my ancestors had quarrels with since time immemorial. And on top of that, I got a weird deal with Uncle Sam where the only way he gives me his sweet breast milk is if I cosplay as another culture of people from the Southeast. Oh, Lord, I guess I'd be all confused too.
Wow.
That sweet breast milk.
That sweet Uncle Sam titty milk. They love it on the res.
What's up, Airwalk? What's up, sis? Oh yeah, sister's in here. What's up? What's up, Chiefess? Back for what's mine. Yeah, shout out to Back for what's mine. Yeah, Back for what's mine.
It's on the ground, baby. Back for what's mine.
Is he on TikTok? Y'all gonna get the page taken. Uh-oh. Payuk.
We just gotta talk about how much we love TikTok Shop and how we gonna go buy something on TikTok Shop, right, guys?
Right. Yep.
TikTok Shop is the best.
We love TikTok
I
Shop.
think he said he's Canadian or something.
From
He
TikTok
must be
Shop.
an Inuit or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Are you an Inuit?
Where your man go? He left Cousin David after the Guinea map showed him that he ain't know what he was talking about, right?
Yeah, he left. He all left. Yeah, that red dude left. The goddamn Ethiopian left.
That Komet map up too. Got to keep that in the
Yeah, send
archives,
that.
cuz.
Yeah, send that to me.
As a matter of fact, I came late. What was that map that you were showing earlier? It was
I'll
like
show
pink
you.
and green.
That's the treaty.
That actually froze. Hold on. Never mind. I'm showing the wrong thing. That the map that you shared. The Treaty of Brittany.
I put it back in the chat. God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting over upper respiratory infection. My check. My bad. My bad. Best. I'm back. All right. Cool. Appreciate that. So I can pull that up so Mike can see it.
And also, Darvid, I was curious, how long have you been on TikTok, and are you on any other platforms as well?
Yeah, 5 years for TikTok. But yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on everywhere. I'm everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. This is where I'm actually streaming on YouTube right now, StreamYard, and along with TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. What's yeah, Guinea's right here. Yep, that's the map. Guinea is right there above Spain.
I'm gonna go on my thing and get you the coordinates, but there go the map of Kemet, ancient Kemet. This is why they can't never pull up no goddamn respectable map, cause they full of shit. Kemet is in Austria, and if they want to talk about the Ptolemaic kids from Egypt that married into the Romans, we could do that too. Let's go there. Let's go there.
We was kings. We was Egyptians. We was. Not Hotep, sister Hotep. Slow down, sister Hotep.
I really watched the documentary from FD Signifier earlier today about Hotep.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was crazy. I don't know if you know who FD Signifier is. He's like one of those dudes who does like the visual essays. So he'll do like a 2-hour long YouTube video on a subject.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, deep research.
Okay, Charlie said he met somebody in Detroit that said something about Phoenix. I don't know, on YouTube. What?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's probably why. Maybe.
So if you're most of the
You
streamers
know
are
what? You just
StreamYard.
go to just go to Kemet, Austria, and Google Earth and
All right,
watch.
cool. Google Earth, Kemet, Austria.
Y'all get mad now.
There you go. A lot of people jocking the Austrians now. Kemet, Austria. On the map, Austria. Yep. Flip camera. Showing right here. Definitely in Austria, like Kemet. Let me see. I mean, Kemet. Yep, Kemet, Austria. And this is the map of Kemet, Austria. Here's the satellite map. Let's see this. Never mind. They're asking for too much. But yeah, she's not lying. Kemet, Austria.
Do better. This is why Egyptians don't have a language.
Uh-oh.
Nobody speaks Egyptian.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Better. They got to do better.
Because the method was deciphered by a Frenchman, quote unquote. Y'all admire us. That's awesome. We've been in the same struggle. Tunes.
And also, isn't the official narrative that the Europeans discovered Egypt in like the 1900s or some shit?
Yeah, they dug Egypt up.
Created that shit. Listen, after the Civil War, the Confederates, the ones that didn't get a chance to stay in Brazil when they was in hiding, they had a contract and they went and put that Sphinx and all that shit together over there. They built that shit. Johnny come latelys. Please, can we go to the etymology of Egypt? Those is mixed burnt faces that come from Europe. Y'all keep forgetting what happened to all the Moorish kids when they was putting their pencil in every sharpener around the world. Where did all those mixed kids go?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Egypt. Yep, there we go. Egypt. Egyptian from French. Egypt, the river Nile. Egypt from, yep, the created God. The temple of the soul of Ptah. Shit, you want to?
Ethiopians. How is Ethiopians not Abyssinians?
The Egyptian name Kemet means black country, possibly in reference to the rich delta soil. The Arabic is Misir, Mizraim. All right. And then Ethiopia.
Ethiopians, mixed birth faces.
Yeah, yep. Ethiop. So Ethiop, Negro. Negro, long supposed and popular etymology from the Othian to burn, ops face, burnt face. I shared this on TikTok before, and they got mad at me. They were mad as fuck.
And it goes back to the words black and white in etymology. Aren't they the burnt faces?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they over here in the Americas discovering petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, gold things that you would think are Egyptian, and then centuries later they dig up similar things in Egypt.
Right.
What a coinky dink.
United we stand, divided we fall.
When Ethiopia was where South Africa is, when it used to be, before the continent was Africa, I always questioned, especially because it's a Ptolemaic map, I always questioned how these Africans don't have any European ancestry.
Vice versa, right? If Europe is right there, then why don't Europeans have African ancestry?
Hey, they didn't like YT women.
I heard the Moors was piping down a whole lot in Europe. Wait a minute
Exactly. Yeah, not the Moors. You can't say that about the Moors and the Ethiopians. Uh-oh. Why do the Y chromosome go back to Ethiopia again?
Damn near every YT person who does a DNA test. Not that those are accurate, but it's interesting how even their DNA tests always list some African, right?
All right, so I see your title say, "Are Black Americans still in Native American culture?" Right. So, in response to your topic, I'd say no. You know, we don't need their culture, because even if that was our culture, we can always go create our own thing like we've been doing. You know, you know, try to name me one notable inventor in the so-called Native American culture right now, or a notable scientist, a notable writer, a notable politician. You know, if this your country, you should contribute to it. We have been contributing to the country. We are the biggest contributors to this country thus far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
100%.
And then definitely when it comes to politics, like if this your country, well, why are you not getting your people deep involved in politics trying to get your country back? And I had the opportunity, luckily, to ask a Native American on TikTok that question. You know what he told me? He said that we are oppressed people. So pretty much he's telling me, oh, translation, we're comfortable on the reservations collecting the benefits that we collect. As long as that's not tampered with, we don't care, because we're not really from here. And it's obvious because, you know, you go and look at the culture of Russia, Mongolia, Siberia. Why? Tell me this. Why do they have teepees involved in their culture over here, and the Native Americans over here have teepees involved in their culture? That means you're from over there. You brought your culture over here, right? Nothing wrong with the culture. You know, like they tell us, embrace your culture. You know, if you African, embrace your culture. That's what they tell us, right? Well, if you Siberian, y'all got some beautiful people over there too. Embrace your culture. You know what I'm saying?
You're in Canada. You're not in the U.S. conversation, damn it, uncle.
Yeah, they should learn about their great granddaddy Genghis Khan and them.
We brought over Asians too.
They great granddaddy Boris Novishkakov too.
Uh-oh.
And Chow Yun Fat.
Embrace your what African culture do we have, Uncle? Uncle? Nah, I ain't gonna call you Uncle. The Delhi. Unalively. What African culture? I asked that earlier. Nobody could give me an answer.
Even have a language. What African culture? Elon Musk got the Afrikaans language.
Why is Uncle not embracing his Spanish heritage? Why is his profile picture him in a snapback?
They
Something we
called
made popular.
Afrikaans. They got the land and the language. Elon Musk. Do I look like him? We look like that?
He said he's not. He's from Canada. He said he's not Spanish. We embrace our African type culture, Suriname. That's because you from Suriname.
The Chromantes come through thinking that the Chromantes is Africans and the Chromantes is European Creoles. Let's argue. Let's argue. And they descend from the Romani gypsies that got kicked out of Europe and sent to Africa as slaves, then picked up and sold from Africa, sold to South America as slaves. Yeah, y'all had it a long way bad, but yeah.
What's up, Miss Evans? What's up? Miss Evans in here. Cousin Latasha's in here. I was trying to click your profile. Oh.
Yeah, Uncle, you're a Spaniard until proven
African
otherwise.
culture comes from Creoles. The Chromanti are Creoles, white Europeans that was in Africa.
Damn, Jimmy said, where are the stone structures on the res? Y'all had time and opportunity. Exactly. Where are your effigy mounds? Where are your earthworks? Are the only things you guys can build are casinos?
Grow. What did they grow? How did they feed the Europeans in the 1600s? What did they feed the Europeans in the 1600s? I'd like to know.
Welcome back, CR. All right, welcome back, Chris.
Let us be confused why these $5 Mongolians on the res be so angry at black folks. It's because their oral history has been passed down to them. They know that they great uncles and grandpas was getting that ass handed to them by them Buffalo Soldiers. They angry.
I did not say Chromanti did not come from Africa, but I'm telling you, they Europeans from Africa that got European descent ancestors.
Auntie Crow my teeth. Rico.
Go research. I ain't lying. I could back it up.
Homie should look up pretendians and then come back with an image.
Because if you go to Google Images, you don't see no black faces, right?
The
original pretendian is the European, the Italian, the
Chromanti settled in Ghana and got them people in the uprising and took over politically. What we talking about? Y'all got to stop playing. Stop looking at the skin color. Queen Nzinga is Ana de Souza from Portugal. She come from the Portuguese throne. Okay? She was married to the Mazingas. They have a crest in Italy that goes back. Please stop.
Oh.
Yo, you going deep. Like what? Hey, Phoenix, what's if you don't mind me asking, what's your occupation?
I'm a registrar. I do death certificates and birth certificates for the state of New York.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how'd you get so deep into the research, you know.
Oh no,
I thought you was a historian for a minute.
He just sounded she is. But yeah, he sounded like
I'm a historian and genealogist.
Hey, I got a video for what? Oh no, I got a video for Unalively just said. He said he got to 5% indigenous, but that's it. I literally made a video about that.
Yo, Uncle, if you're indigenous to Canada, pop quiz. Let us know what boarding school your people got shipped to.
What's up? Thank you for the follow, Midwest. Thank you for the shares too. Oh, okay, Delaware Nation Lenape. All right. Shout out to the Lenape.
Name the boarding school, Uncle. I want to know.
Yeah, I got Piscataway ties, so Powelton ties, so you connected to the Lenape anyways.
This boy said Cedar Mounds. He don't know what he talking about. He lost in the sauce. Oh man.
Cedar Mounds. Yeah. The Mounds in Tennessee?
He claiming in Canada you got Cedar Mounds on the res.
Cedar Mounds, Canada. Let's see.
Cedar chips.
Canada cedar mounds are primarily the Manitou mounds in northwest Ontario. Mi'kmaq. Oh, so you're Mi'kmaq?
So were they could just called Cedar Mounds?
No, they weren't even called. I mean, no, they called Manitou mounds.
Yeah, so I'm
So,
like, what is Cedar Mound? Like, how does he get Cedar Mound from that?
we're not stealing it. We're reclaiming it. Big difference. Oh, okay, Silver Blade. There's a bunch of elders who speak of what happened in the residential schools. It's horrible.
So any so-called Native Americans is on right now. I got a question for you. Like, why are there teepees in the country of Asia and teepees over here? That seems to me like that culture was brought here and did not originate here. So explain to me, it's not a coincidence that, Native Americans built teepees, Mongolians built teepees also, the exact same way. Come on now.
Western philosophy is a joke. You're reading what your oppressors want you to read. I guess.
Or it could just be critical thinking skills. You know?
Yeah, like what's wrong with reading?
What's wrong with reading and having critical thinking skills?
It's good to cross reference. Instead of.
He's definitely on it with the
Primary
TPs.
sources. Something
Yeah, anybody else ever peeped that with the teepees, right?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely peeped that. During my genealogy consultations I do, that's literally the first thing that I teach my clients is the different ethnic groups of American Indians. They got the Southwestern Plains folks who live in the teepees and roam with the buffalo, and then you got the melanated tribes of the Southeast, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and I literally show them side by side photos of a Southwestern Plains teepee, and they are identical to Siberian teepees.
I want to make sure that it's clear that we had chocolatey Indians in the Northeast too. We ain't limited to the Southeast, the Eastern Women Indians.
Wampanoag, yeah.
Inuits are Negroid and
Yes, they are.
Yeah, Inuits too, and then they had chocolate people in the West Coast, the Northwest. Shout out to Sukla.
My home state of California is named after a Black Indian queen, Califia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Wu-Tang members, Old Dirty Bastard, ancestors were Native Americans. He did,
Yes, they are.
and they owned land in New York before New York became New York City.
The island of Manhattan,
Since I was 8 years old, maybe. Shinnecock Reservation. That is the powwow. If you ain't never been to one, that's the first powwow you go to.
Speaking of Sukla, she just popped up in here.
Well, see, that's something that I was learning from Chief Warhorse recently. Was that
mind makeover?
The 5 civilized tribes would actually send people to do reconnaissance and kind of look at the culture and the customs of the tribes in the Northeast and the Southeast, and kind of take it back to Oklahoma to do some cosplaying.
Absolutely, what they did. David Bushnell, David R. Bushnell, a couple of people. Couple of them did it. It wasn't just him, but that's exactly what they did. They did it to Virginia Indians. They did it to all of the Eastern Woodland Indians. They didn't do it just to the Choctaw. It's just stuff we didn't see. Different collections come out at different times. Sometimes when these administrations change or different people come into the museums, they taking everything out, depending on how that curator feel. Seeing all the Black Indians in there, they'll remove it and replace it with some whitewash shit.
Word. And I'm from Petersburg, Virginia. Right up the road, we got Pocahontas State Park. We had.
I was just there not too long ago.
So you know how much history here,
Yeah, for sure. Yep. For sure. I was at Pocahontas State Park. Back in what was it, October? Yeah, been on the James River, all types of things. I know Richmond be tight, like doing that goddamn the African slaves, the African slave trails and all types of things in Richmond.
Yeah,
I like Richmond though.
Yeah, and Petersburg ain't nothing but a graveyard, man. Many soldiers under defeat that fought for this country, man. You know,
And then Fredericksburg, Indian Punch Bowl. That's a nice scenery.
Chesapeake.
Yeah. Oh,
But
CO Candy.
even today, Richmond is 80% black, 20% white, right? Petersburg, same thing. You know, like it's the reason why we have a high concentration of Black Americans in this area, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not all due to the slave trade.
Getting money.
Not at all due to
Hell
the
no.
slave.
Not at all.
You should look into the redemptioners. You should look into the redemptioners. See if you had any grandparents that were redemptioners.
Yeah, the math really ain't mathing with the slave trade stats. These folks be damn near snitching on themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dropping lower and lower. They just lowered their numbers. Professor Sukla showed me the other day. They keep dropping their numbers. We check periodically. Now it's like 90, less than almost down below 90,000.
90 days. Hey,
I saw
man,
50,000. Actually, I saw like
Oh,
57,000.
man.
I saw.
see,
I had a client a couple months ago who was who's like 70 years old, right? And they told me that when they were going through college, they went to like Africana studies at HBCUs, like higher learning, right? They said back in their day, they was teaching in college that over 100 million Africans were trafficked to the Americas.
Wow.
Nowadays, they've dramatically reduced it to 12 million. And then they say out of that 12 million, only about 90,000 came to North America. The rest went to Brazil and the Caribbean. Like, come on.
So here's the thing, right?
Yes.
The ops page talking about this, I spoke to one of the ladies about logistics. I said, okay, I see you got everything in writing, right? Your peer review. Anybody can write anything down and have a peer review it, right? That's peer review. I said, okay, but let's use our brain. Logistically, we're talking about the 1400s, 1500s. Okay, so they had wooden ships, right? And you mean to tell me that those many slaves were chained down at the hull of the wooden ship for 3 months to make this journey, and they were able to sustain, this is what I mean by logistics, they were able to sustain those slaves, meaning feed them and everything. I said, you know what? I'm proud, I'm a veteran. So I said, look, I've been in the Army and the Navy. I said, look, today, with all this technology, the Navy only stays out at sea for 6 months at a time. And they do something called vert trap replenishment, which means another ship pull up beside them and send them food supplies, medical supplies, and everything you would need to survive at sea. You know, so how did that happen? And all of those slaves survive at the bottom of the ship, being chained down in those unsanitary conditions. That's impossible. I find
Right.
that physically impossible.
I got a question, Rick, since you was in the Navy. Have you ever sailed directly across the Atlantic?
No, I was on land, shore duty. I
Oh,
worked
okay.
at the Naval War College, which is something else I can hit you with. They had a black historian for Black History Month. I forgot the brother's name, but he explained the early colonialism. The Naval War College is located in Newport, Rhode Island. And he explained how Newport, Rhode Island was during the early colonialism. He said that the Africans that they did transport here, which wasn't many, they were transported here because they had a skill set that was needed over here. So some were liquor, like distilled liquor, some were masonries, make bricks. Everybody had a skill trade that they shipped to the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the Northeastern blacks that were brought over here worked their way out of servitude because they had a skill trade. So on the side, after they finished work on the side, they made their money. Bought their thing back, built their own business. And that's, and it's hard to find this video online, but that came from the Naval War College, from a historian, a black historian that did the actual research and footwork to put that together and brought it to the Naval War College, which is a very prestigious college. I met some people, some high-end people when I was over there. I'm
Hey,
talking
brother.
about G6 jet high-end.
What's up?
Hey, some of my clients have been veterans in the Navy, and I've asked them that same question. And some of them actually have traveled directly across, and they say that is the scariest, most treacherous thing they've ever done in their life. They're talking about 50-foot waves, damn near 100-foot waves. They said the
Wow.
Navy got to tie everything down, strap everything down. Like, there's no way a wooden boat is going through. And if you just look up the ocean's gyres, you can see through the equatorial currents the path that they would have took just by the natural currents of the ocean. Again, they're not moving powered vessels. They're traveling by the wind and the sails and the natural current of the ocean. And what they did is they took that current straight down the west coast of Africa to the south equatorial current, which takes them right over to Brazil.
Now we thinking.
For sure. Because I know I've heard in plenty of like Navy veterans tell me this, like they never went directly to West Africa, like and they still don't.
And I'm only a 3-year Navy vet, 9-year Army vet. I don't know too much about the Navy. I know a lot about the Army.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, we almost had 100K likes. Almost at 100K likes. But I give my 30th team member also.
And that's crazy, man, how people really think wooden ships can make that journey. How many times, and no stories of them crashing, sinking, they all held together and everybody got over here safe and sound?
Right.
Besides the ones that they threw in the ocean.
Can a wooden ship have traveled directly across the transatlantic at that time? Hell no. But could it have followed the currents and hugged the coastlines to the different continents? Hell yes. But how many Africans could have fit on that boat? Maybe 20, 30. Not no 300, not no 400. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
They would really be in trouble if we had our billionaires reenact this thing today. Just donate some money, build a wooden ship.
Yeah.
Try to reenact it. They would be shaking in their boots right now if that happened.
Because mind you, they claim that they were packed like sardines, chained up, right? So that means that, and I've seen some crazy narratives where they'll try to claim that like 30 European sailors are managing a ship with 500 African slaves. So 30 people are what? bringing down buckets for them to piss and shit in, and taking them back up board to throw in the water, and bringing them food and bringing them water and bathing them. Like 30 people can't care for hundreds of people on a voyage like that. Y'all can't even store the supplies. Y'all can't even store the food and the necessities on board and fit that many people.
Yes,
Right.
because not only feeding the slave, but they got to feed the crew too, right? So this was the explanation one of the goofies gave me, that they brought up a manifesto and said, this was what they said. Y'all probably won't laugh. This is what they said. They said that they did not give a crap about the cargo that was on the ship, meaning the slaves. They only gave a crap about the crew that was on the ship. So if somebody was unalive, that wasn't no thing. I'm like, that's like me coming from Bolivia with 100 of them things, saying, I don't care if these things get lost, I just want my crew to get back. That was the cargo. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Mike. 1 second, Mike. 1 second. Mike, you there? Somebody from my YouTube said what's up. Engine Radio,
Okay, that's what's up. Shout out to Engine Radio.
for sure. Go ahead, Lucky.
No, I was just agreeing.
Negro Act of 1740 say the term Negro SLs is confined to the ancient Berbers and their descendants, not meaning the free inhabitants of Africa, such as Egyptians, Moors, or the Asiatic Negro Lascars.
Oh, now you got something on the stream. My bad.
Okay. But that's just some real law right there, along with all them perceptions y'all just thrown out there in the middle of the ocean.
For sure. What's up, DBG? We got to 100K likes. Look at us.
Y'all can screenshot that.
Every Negro, Indian, mulatto. I can't read that for real, brother.
Well, that's for you know.
Shot it and blow it up.
Yeah, screenshot it.
Slave is a slave unless the.
And section 7, if you go find the actual law, say if the Berber took a bath, right, and stopped smelling bad, then he could be a coleslaw person too.
Coleslaw person.
Made to appear.
So Halito.
Thereafter provided the Indian.
I refuse to do that.
Accepted and which.
Welcome back, Ish. FYP ski. How many views we got? Almost 3,000 views in total. I don't know, man. People want sponsorship. I'm guessing we gotta hit up, right?
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
So that's an actual law right there, 1740 in South Carolina. King Charles II was still the monarch for that area.
Well, sir, I'm definitely down for that.
You can also go find accounts of what he had to say about South Carolina in the UK.gov records. You can go, you put in 1740 and see what they say too. They don't say this.
Man, TVG, we don't lift. Dang, my Instagram is blown up. What's up? Oh, Mike's back. All right. He's one who dropped.
So if you was a Moor, you're not American. If you was Egyptian, you're not American. Definitely no Negro, Asiatic Lascars, you ain't American either.
2 or 3 times a month.
But if y'all want to go hard, y'all can look at section 1. You know what I'm saying? But I was just trying to spare your feelings a little bit and stay out of section 1.
Wow. What's up, Andre? What's up?
Hey, so is everyone here familiar with the movie 12 Years a Slave?
I ain't never see it.
Yes. I ain't never see it, but I know what it is.
So I just recently watched it. At first I was like, oh, another slave movie, whatever. But as I watched it, I actually felt a little bit of a connection with it. I was like, something's just speaking to me. So after I watched the movie, I looked it up. And this is like the total opposite of Roots. Roots, we know, was some bullshit that Alex Haley plagiarized by a Jewish dude and all kinds of fuck shit, right? When we talk about the movie 12 Years a Slave, that's based off of the autobiography of Solomon
Nat
Northup.
Turner. Oh, I thought
No,
it was Nat Turner.
Solomon Northup was a black Indian man, a free man who got kidnapped and forced to be a slave on a plantation in the South for several years. He descends from the Iroquois Confederacy. They say he was either Mohawk
No,
or
he's not Mohawk. He's
Oneida.
He's Falls River.
Falls River?
His
Okay.
great
Thank you
grandmother
for the
was Falls
correction.
River and Stockbridge Indians. They could be Mohawk in betwixt and between. Yeah, Mohawk, Mohegan, but yeah, and Scattercoat.
But I'm like, damn. So I looked him up and stuff. I'm like, wait, free man of color. We already know a lot of Indians in the Northeast get reclassified as people of color and whatnot. And yeah, they was talking about he had American Indian heritage.
Wow.
And it
He
makes
said was
sense why they
Israeli
teach us
roots.
we came from Africa from elementary school. They had to reform our minds. And, you know, a lot of people still believe that we came from Africa. With the information the new information that's presented, they still believe that we traveled that voyage across that sea.
Lick of proof, right? Just a story, not a lick of proof. Even when you take DNA test, ain't got one cousin over there. Nobody stayed in the village.
You said what? Big screen? All right.
EMS or would we have to, or is it like a thing where
Y'all can't see it.
get the
Yeah.
vocal
You can see.
come out?
Slaves in the United States.
What?
It's a free Negro, SL owners, absentee, SL masters in the 1830s.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the census being active every 2 years. That just came out for public view when he wrote that book.
Roger Jackson, you said they ain't teach you that in elementary. What they teach you then? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I went to public school. I don't know. They taught us that. They taught us Christopher Columbus discovered America. They taught us we come from Africa. That's all elementary, bro. And they just repeat it. Middle school, high school, same shit.
No, I thought maybe he was saying that they didn't teach him about Solomon Northup and stuff. I don't know.
No, you could be right.
About slavery. He didn't hear about slavery until 5th grade.
Yeah, that's even in the 5th grade. Shit, I was in kindergarten. They had us singing slave songs. Follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. I'm like, damn, the programming, right? Hey, I do my genealogy. I only had one part of the family tree that was enslaved temporarily. So it's like most of the people in the family tree wasn't even slaves like that, but they just forced that on every kid with brown skin.
Right. I only got a few here and there that was actually enslaved. One of my 5th grade grandmother. She actually had a child by someone who owned her. His name, he was an Anderson, and he was part Indian. And then, but what else? Who else was enslaved in my ancestry? Oh yeah, they say Jane Kyle Key. They say she was sold into slavery. Jane Kyle Key, Pocahontas' daughter. So
People don't even know Pocahontas died in Europe.
or her actual name, or her tribe.
And they don't know that they fucking killed her on their way back after they caused all that goddamn conflict.
On the live. Yep. They don't know a lot about her, but they say we can't have no. Yeah, drop some fruits in the chat, y'all. I don't even think y'all even drop fruits in the chat all live stream. I've been on here for damn near 4 hours. But yeah, her daughter was she had a daughter, and they say, oh, you can't. It's impossible for you to have a relation with her. Like y'all don't even know her.
They don't teach that that Chief Powhatan was really an Accomack either. that the Powhatan Confederacy is really the Accomack Confederacy, which explains why they did certain things like not have the Accomack pay tribute. You don't pay tribute to your own tribe of origin. Your own tribe of origin is not gonna pay tribute to their son.
Mm, right.
Anything that makes
Hey, y'all.
I've been learning about some wild stuff lately because my tribe is the Creek Nation, and ask 99% of the members of the Creek Nation that are born and raised on the res, ask them about the mounds, the earthworks, and the connection to Central America, and they ain't got no idea. There's mounds, temples, earthworks through the southeast that are identical to things that you find in Olmec, Aztec, Maya territory, all throughout Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about it. Crazy.
But if you talk to the average person about it, even a quote unquote American Indian, they'll be like, "Oh no, that's crazy. What you're saying? There's a connection from like indigenous people in Mexico and the southeast. Like yeah, that's a stone's throw away. The Gulf of Mexico. What? What are we talking about?
And that's
That's right
crazy.
there.
And that's crazy right there, because I'm not saying that Black Americans are indigenous to this. I don't agree nor disagree. I like to hear the knowledge of facts that people got, so-called facts or whatever. But I would say in common sense, like Mexico, Taínos is right here in the Americas, right? So they act like the border was always the border, like it was always a fence there. Like these people came all over North Americas. You know what I'm saying? No matter what tone of skin they got. They came up this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's take it a step further. Archaeologists have verified definitively that there was a extensive indigenous trade network spanning from Canada to the southeast, through the Caribbean, through Mexico, South America. I mean, you find certain artifacts, certain shell beads and things that one tribe in the Caribbean are known for. You find it up as far north as Canada and vice versa. So, like, we all had contact, we all had trade, but when them Asiatic folks came through the Bering Strait, the only place where we really allowed them to settle was the barren plain lands where we didn't want to live.
Which is, you mean Alaska?
Well, not just Alaska, but also like all of those plains tribes, the Comanche, the Navajo, the Apache. You know, if you look at the map on Google Maps, basically every place that is green, that was lush with vegetation, was an area that we inhabited, that we had vast cities, architecture, you name it. But when it comes to that barren plains land region, I mean, hey, they can have at it. Roam around with the buffalo, knock yourself out. Don't nobody want to live in the plains.
I got a question for them.
Go ahead.
Name some grandparents from the 1400s. Let's start at the 1400s. Let's name some grandparents from the 1400s. Some of those people. Let's name some grandparents from the 1400s.
Without breaking my back in the fire.
Oh wow.
Grandparents.
I can name grandparents from the 1400s. I can name grandparents from the 700s. I can name grandparents from all kind of age determiners. I think we got some grandparents.
You're breaking up.
3000 BCE. Hey, we got some grandparents go that far back. And they eat Utah. So let's name grandparents.
I just know my grandparents.
I promise you, you'll run out of grandparents before I will in America.
Yeah, Javi, I think she said 3000 BC.
I did.
She said, all you gotta do is have an echo chain. Once you get married, no, we don't. Y'all be babbling up here. Like, bro, we had plenty of panels where I had people that we didn't agree with stay on for a long ass time, literally. Like, y'all be babbling. Most of y'all, you come up, be disrespectful, and start babbling. Like, y'all call us pretending like we supposed to take that. Like, that's y'all calling us slurs and shit. We supposed to, like, oh, hey, you can stay up here. Oh, my gosh, we agree with you. Like, no, y'all calling us slurs and shit. Like, why? Like, if you want respect, then give respect. If you want to be with no facts, no. Where are you from, Hobby? Right. With no facts. Like, I've shown my genealogy on here. Y'all disingenuous. Oh well, that's different. They come us calling us pretending all types of shit. Like y'all don't know us. Yeah, slurs, pretend like y'all say disrespecting our family. You're not like
hurt because they don't have the documentation for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Hey, come up here, Hobby. Since you know us so well. Yeah, I think I'm about to wrap this up though.
Do I need to drop for him to come up?
Nah, you good. I'm about to actually wrap this thing up. I'll be on here.
Okay. I'm about to look for the rap battles on this jump.
Yeah, for sure. I was about to say until next time. I don't need to prove nothing. We have our documentation too. I think we don't have to prove shit to y'all. Now next, yeah.